All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the GamerZone, the internet's third greatest Kurt Cobain conspiracy theory and video game podcast. My name is Andrew Bennett, and tonight we're talking about video games, Kurt Cobain, and much, much more. But also a lot of Kurt Cobain. Now, as I push this button here on my dashboard, I will unleash hell, and by that I mean, Dean, you are now unmuted.
Oh, my
Who's fat
God.
now, Dean?
Great.
This is what
Lovely.
happens when you put us behind fucking bars and just let us sit there building up this energy as you wait for us to release it in one giant burst.
That sounds like
Sounds like
Ain't just you,
coming.
bro.
Who's gonna burst now, Dean?
Yeah, Dean.
That
Dean, we're like-
motherfucker.
Dumb.
you really got him there, actually.
Well, yeah, because earlier Dean just said fat and then muted himself, and we all took it personally.
Wow. What a coward.
He literally was just like fat and then muted himself, and Colton was like, "What the fuck?"
It's really just like it's only worse is depending on how you take it, and it could be like the meanest thing anyone could fucking say.
Yeah, or you could be saying it's a fat cock. You never know.
Yeah,
Both are true.
the eye of the beholder.
What
Which
the
is also
fuck
the-
does that mean, Dean?
I'm gonna eat my ice and let you continue.
I'm gonna eat my cookie and let you continue because we're off the fucking chain already.
All right, well, in that case, I'm going to move over to our ever elegant roundtable format. Tonight, we just so happen to have, myself, we have Dean, we have Jordan, we have Scott, and we have that little lizard man. Little lizard that somehow...
Less said the better.
Yeah, honestly.
The-
There he is.
There he is. Little lizard boy.
Yes.
It's me, the resident shithead.
Yeah, that's him.
Wait, isn't that's kind of redundant? How do we have
You're
two
kind of
them?
redundant.
Oh.
Yeah,
what I mean,
we already have a
literally.
shithead here.
Oh fuck!
It's me.
It's him.
It's him.
Yeah, it's him.
He. If
I
you
haven't
will.
seen you get
he,
drunk off your ass
the
and get
destroyer.
wrapped into a fucking podcast before.
Oh fuck! I forgot we're podcasting. I shouldn't just like take loud sips of my Slurpee.
No, this is quality, bro.
Yeah,
Or-
we're just vibing.
Good
Yeah, just
podcast.
vibing. I feel like we're our only viewers at the moment, so we don't have to worry about things like that.
I'm not even one of our viewers.
Yeah, me not either.
Me not either.
I'm a viewer.
I'm just chilling.
Why do I feel like I said that last podcast too?
Were you drinking in the last one? I rest my case.
That's what I thought.
All right. Well, with that, I believe we can kick off our weekly roundtable where, should you be someone listening who's new here and doesn't know how we operate each week, usually it's the first quarter to the first half of our show is spent on the roundtable where we talk about things we've enjoyed in this past week. I'll kick us off as we go from left to right, and if anyone happens to have, like a little gremlin at the bottom of the screen, that gremlin goes last, usually. Because they live under a bridge.
I'm upset. He's
Nice.
But so anyways, this week has been a pretty productive one for me. I'll spare you the details of all the cleaning I've been busying myself with, and instead talk about video games. Specifically, video games named Phantasy Star Online 2, which we're not going to go all in on right now. Later in the show, we're going to talk about that and our experience with the closed beta. But that was... Phantasy Star was my last weekend, I'll put it that way. Aside from that... Boy... I mean, I've listened to music.
Boy.
I've listened to a
what
lot
the
of music.
fuck? This is a host, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the point of the podcast where you open up your podcast app or Twitch. I don't know or give a shit, and just click on anything else.
Yeah, or you could
So
just
negative all the time.
you can just keep
Bro,
listening
just
to my
cheer up.
voice. Yeah. Just be happy. It's
happy.
just that
It's
easy.
that easy.
That's
It's just
that
that
easy.
easy.
We all
Just-
try
Yeah,
to
that
reference the
easy.
same thing.
I'm done.
Just
Okay, so a few things that I've listened to for the first time this week. Well, I listened to Prodigy before this last week, but this past week, the song that's been heavy in my rotation has been Firestarter. I love that track to death.
Firestarter.
I'm a Firestarter.
Twisted Firestarter.
Actually, really funny enough, if you think about it, really the 3 singles off of The Fat of the Land, that being
What the fuck, man?
no, that's not one of them. Oh no, my phone.
Andy is so
It's ruined.
unprofessional.
fucking over.
He let me scream on stream, and he's doing this too. What the fuck is this bullshit?
But no, like the 3 singles off The Fat of the Land were Firestarter, Breathe, and Smack My Bitch Up.
Oh,
Yeah. And all, those are like, I
A
think.
story in 3 acts.
I have trouble doing all 3 of those things.
And if you look at on Spotify, Prodigy's 3 most popular tracks, it's Breathe, Smack My Bitch Up, and Firestarter.
Yeah.
It's like that's it, you know?
Most people didn't listen to that album. They just heard the big song.
Right.
big song.
It's
The
a good,
large song.
it's a good album though. I do enjoy it quite a bit. Though I also think those 3 tracks are also like the absolute best off of it. I've also, I might pronounce this incorrectly. I'm not very good with the English language, and this isn't in English. But Venetian Snares, I've
Yeah, that's correct.
okay. I've been listening to. I'm not gonna even try to say this. It's that album
Try
with
to
the
say
birds. Okay. Russ, I give up. It's that
was
one.
quick.
Listen, that's the second word. CSILLAG. How do you? Silag
I'm gonna-
is the C
I'm
sound.
gonna look it up.
Okay, Ross Silag Alat. Suzu.
What the fuck are you on about?
What is
Okay.
he trying to say?
Okay, so
I think he's trying to cast a spell. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
fuck
something
that.
like that. But you should listen to Venetian Snares. That's what I'm saying here.
Sure. I mean, I guess if you really want to.
Yeah. I don't know.
Um. They're. Oh wait. Looks like Ross Silag Alat Sulatet, but I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend I even know what I just said. All I know is the only album I listened to them, or by them that I listened to. That's what I meant to say. Was Winnipeg is a frozen shithole.
Hmm.
It's the only one worth listening to
Wait,
because
was
they're
that
not wrong.
was that actually Venetian Snares?
That was Venetian Snares, yes.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, I guess that was Venetian Snares. Yeah, that's that's Venetian Snares.
They've got a pretty hefty catalog, yeah, and that's one of them.
Yeah, Winnipeg is a frozen shithole, Volume 1.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, that's been my little bit. I'm now going to push the button here. That Dean, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, video games.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna mention, but not get into how I've been playing more Fire Emblem Heroes because really it's not much to talk about. It's more people complaining about subscription services.
Stop playing gotcha shit.
I'm just
Right.
gonna go up to
Gotcha.
Twitter here and
That's why they call
Twitter.com.
it.
Go
He's going
search
to his
Scott.
Twitter.com.
Yeah, I'm gonna search Scott Fate. What is it? Fate Go.
Fate Grand Order.
Fate
yeah.
Grand Order. Yeah.
What about Fate Grand Order?
He's
Just
been
thinking
playing
of-
his Grand Order feats, dude.
Just thinking about
Someone say feet.
thinking about
Yes.
Saber Nero. Saber.
Yeah.
Nero.
Her name isn't Nero Saber. Her name is
Sa-
fucking Nero.
Just
Get it right.
Just Nero. Okay.
Saber.
That's our wife you're talking about.
Yeah, our
Both?
joint wife, because she likes that.
She probably does. I mean, I don't know. Seems like a Nero thing to do.
I mean,
Yeah,
Nero does wear a
Nero-
window skirt, so
Nero historically was a big fan of an old-fashioned orgy, so
What the
Why is
hell?
everyone quiet?
I don't know what the fuck.
Because
I don't know what's
trying
going
to
on.
understand what's happening.
I'm trying to mentally process what the fuck you just started talking about. And
I'm talking about how Nero from the Fate series likes to fuck.
Oh, sorry. I didn't respond because I read a tweet featuring the phrase "ass" or no, sorry, "fart cabinet."
like that.
I hate that tweet's also in my timeline.
I haven't
Better-
seen it.
Wait,
better open it. Well,
This
I
shows
was
off.
originally going to talk about more than Fire Emblem Heroes, but if you want to keep talking about whatever that shit is, feel free.
No. We're good. We're good. What else did you do?
I mean, I could
I-
read the tweet if you really want me to.
No,
but-
no,
I
we're
don't
good.
think that's happening.
I started up Final Fantasy 15 for the first time.
Oh my
nice.
goodness.
I think
Shut
I'm in
up.
I think I'm in chapter 7. I don't know how long the game is.
Not very.
The game's cool. I'm trying to get into it. I think it gets really too dark, and I'm really like my last session has been kind of negative because 4 stealth segments.
Yeah, that shit was bad.
oh yeah, the last yeah.
I have not played 15 to the point where that happens, but forced stealth segments are like a no-go in any game.
There's this one bit that where you gotta track some dude, just for no fucking reason in this base,
As you do.
and you're following him, and you have the ability to like teleport to places just by holding the Y button.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, maybe I get an advantage point. He immediately sees me, even though I'm behind him. I was like, okay, what the fuck? I spend the next 45 minutes just like trying to like figure out how the fuck is he seeing me? I even just stayed back. Like I just like did not move from like behind cover, and I still got caught. But that revealed something to me. There was a dickhead on the watchtower that you was never informed about, you know. And whenever you lose, it doesn't tell you what spotted you. It's just like, okay, I guess
Yeah.
that's cool. And
Just
then
don't get seen.
Yeah, just don't get spotted.
just
and
that
like,
easy.
Probably the worst stealth fucking mechanics I've ever seen.
I don't know. I did it first try.
I would have done it first try because the second I killed that asshole, everything was smooth sailing.
Well, yeah. Why did you not immediately jump to murder? It works every time.
I didn't even see him to murder him. I would have murdered him.
I mean, I guess that's right. Oh well. But yeah, that segment's not very good.
No, it wasn't.
I don't know if it was that one or if it was a different one, but there was one segment in the game that they actually fucking like patched to make better.
The hallway segment.
I think so, yeah.
I do
I
find
don't
it
know
really
what that
funny
is.
how 15 like from the start was developed based around the feedback about 13 being too linear, and then because of the game's crazy development, they just ended up having an entire hallway segment that they had to patch out of the game.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Still better than the Frozen World in Kingdom Hearts 3.
absolutely.
I'm trying to figure out because there's 2 real types of ways to play the 15. You get you can play in wait mode, which seems like why would you not play in wait mode? Other than like I just want to get hit constantly.
What's the differences?
Okay, so when you stand still, there's like a little timer that comes up and everything's paused, and you get to look at it basically everyone around you and get to basically learn their weaknesses for free. So
like playing as a real-time with pause RPG.
Oh, so
Kind of, yeah.
You're
That-
playing little baby mode. Your little
Baby
mode.
mode.
Yeah. Bro, there's
Yeah.
literally a button you hold to just
Where's-
not get hit by anything. I don't know why you would need to play in wait mode.
I
Yeah.
played it because I thought this was going to be a tactical fucking game. Apparently,
Fuck
I was
no.
wrong.
Okay,
Fuck
so
no.
so
Like
Dean?
I'm the type of person who would like actually like be switching out weapons to be like efficient and stuff. And then,
Oh.
like
Just switch over to Prompto and shoot them to deth. It's that easy.
yeah, man.
So
I
Dean,
played it at launch when you couldn't do that, and it was like just hit them till they die forehead. Like that was it.
okay, so
damn,
I've got a
I'm already
recommendation
getting
here,
fucking
Dean.
called out for a blind playthrough
Yeah,
because I'm
how
playing
dare
it
you?
wrong.
How dare you?
Listen,
The fucking default game mode's too hard. Oh god.
my recommendation here, Dean, is that you in fact play this little game that I often refer to as Final Fantasy 12.
Oh yeah, let me just look at my library real quick. Oh fuck, it's not there. Where'd it go? I swear I had it earlier.
Hmm,
Fucking owned. Take that, Andy.
never. will
Will
never
you
be
ever
on.
defeat the poor person excuse?
Yeah, it works every time. Like, why don't you play this game? Oh, I'm
Just
broke,
get a job,
dipshit.
idiot. Fucking get some money, jackass.
Sell drugs.
I would talk more about 15, but I don't want to unleash the
But you're too
fucking.
poor.
Okay, no,
Ooh.
I like 15, which is an unpopular opinion.
No,
It's
but
fine.
I'm having a lot of fun
15
with
was
it.
pretty good though.
I'm enjoying it. I guess that's where I'm wrong.
No, it's
No,
fun.
you're just inherently wrong. It's got nothing to do with the game.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
I like 15. Like 15's, I won't spoil it because you're playing it, obviously.
God,
Yeah.
that's so right.
15's, shut up. Anyway, 15's
First half
like,
is great.
I was gonna
That's-
say the opposite. I was gonna say I
Yeah.
really like the way 15 finishes,
Oh,
but
I'm enjoying like kind of the road trip vibe you're getting at the first half.
mhm.
yeah.
Because it really is just like you're on a road trip, now do the things. I'm like, okay, I can fish. Oh, look at that, there's some hunt things. And I thought that
Yeah.
game looks very nice.
Yeah, the first like it goes from like open world like the first half of the game is, and like second half gets way
I
too
noticed
linear.
that like there's a big difference between chapter 1 and 2, between 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Chapters 1 and 2, it's like, okay, you're in a desert environment, do shit. Okay, that's cool. Chapter 2, now you're in like a rainforest environment, or like just a temperate environment, do shit. Chapter 3, okay, do this like one mission. Chapter 4, all right, now you got another mission.
Yeah.
So I'd like
it does get pretty linear, and
It is getting
But,
more
like-
linear as I play along.
but like 15's ending, I thought was great. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
liked
is
I
good.
liked it. I liked it more than anything else in the game.
But like the ending itself was great.
Mhm.
But like how linear it got up to that point is the part
Yeah.
where kind of
No, that's totally correct. But I also played 13,
Yeah.
so I didn't mind.
well,
I'm gonna
it
go
goes
for
from
a
like giving you a
smoke.
lot of options.
You don't even smoke. You're not cool.
It goes from like giving you a lot of options to do what you want to like you're on a set path. You're not able to do much other than what it's telling you to do. So there's like a lot of stuff earlier in the game you can't go back to.
Yeah.
That if you're
I've
playing
also,
blindly, you won't know.
I've also
So-
never really been a big fan of like open world games in general. So I
Yeah,
guess that's
like
why I
open-
didn't really like.
That's probably
Sure.
a big
Yeah.
reason, because it is very obviously intended as an open world game, where to
For
the
the-
point where like you have to. I do like the camping mechanic and like getting
Yeah.
food and stuff. I do like that. It's a very comfy game.
God, I wish Ignis would make me food.
Same.
Ah,
God.
Bigness, more like bigness.
Don't even get me started, buddy.
God, Ignis, let me sup upon those
I don't get why
those
you talk about
supple
Pronto
lips.
scaring and shit, because every time Pronto tries to fight something, he decides to go in melee range with his goddamn gun. I don't know what his deal is. I don't think he understands
Can
it.
you
You're
customize?
not giving them the right orders, bro.
You can
That's
give
why.
him you can get him an off weapon, but they have to have their main weapons, and in Prompto's case is a gun. But you could give them like a machine weapon or something as a secondary, or a spell. And he just runs in and gets hit and killed immediately.
I'm curious though,
I've never had the
since
problem.
I never got too deep into
He's a-
15, it's one of those games that I don't think is bad. It just didn't grip me enough to make me want to play more of it, and I'm gonna go back to it eventually. But
I'm mostly playing it because the game looks nice.
that
and
was
it- and
why
it-
I
and it-
installed it in
and
the
it-
first place.
What do you have it on Xbox?
Yeah, the Xbox, and playing it on
Okay.
Game Pass.
Okay. Yeah, I have it on PC. It works fine. Something that I attempted to play was they have like a multiplayer type build.
Comrades.
Oh,
yeah.
Dean and I tried
Comrades.
that. It's
Yeah, the servers weren't fucking stable enough to host a single fucking game.
it's
No,
pathetic.
it works fine on PC.
Well, yeah, at launch it was fucked up.
We
but
played
now
it
it's
at
good.
launch.
Yeah,
Oh,
We
okay.
haven't played it since.
standalone
good.
launch. To be clear here,
Okay.
Yeah,
this is like it was $5 to buy standalone when it came out, and I was like, well,
yeah.
why not?
I made Ninja. If he failed the streaming gig and became a math teacher.
I forgot about that.
I just made Elena, like from FF7, the Turk. All right, I guess none of you guys played that except Colton.
That's me.
Either way,
I've played that.
that's who I made.
Nice.
But what I wanted to ask about 15 though was
Yeah, go.
Are you able to customize AI orders in that like you can in
If there is, I couldn't find it.
Okay. I feel like what did they
I
call it?
could-
Not the Gambit. Was it the Gambit system in 12?
Gambit is 12, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that should be used in so many more games, though.
I don't know. A lot of people didn't like Gambits because they were just like, oh, the game plays itself. And that was like a big thing for a lot of people that aren't like us.
I'm sad.
a lot of people like okay, a lot of RPG
Being able to
fans.
control
They
stuff,
like
everything.
they like having their menus. They like being able to pick from anything, and you
That's
could do
what I
that.
like.
You can do that. That's how I
okay.
often play it, but
Okay, but you can do that in 12, but the game is very clearly designed to not do that, or else it takes forever to do anything. Like going through a zone with gambits on compared to not having them on is night and day.
yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed the Gambit system, and I feel like maybe a less extreme just being like, just consider extreme as how it is in 12. A less important Gambit system.
Right. I love the gambit system because
yeah.
like I know it's not technically AI because you're the one who sets it.
Yeah.
But like I'm weird and I really like watching my characters do stuff without any input, which I know is weird. But that's why I like the gambit system a lot because I would just set my orders and I'd be like, all right, do it, peons, and it was fun.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like having that in any game like that follows like the format of 15 and stuff, I feel like that would work out very well. And I know KH3 has some form of like customization when it comes to orders you can give your companions, but I never looked into it. I don't remember how deep. It's like surface level.
Donald Duck, you sack of shit, heal me.
Heal me.
Donald. Fuck.
Do you have any potions? Maybe food?
My potions are too strong for
Gosh.
you, traveler.
Of course.
That's basically all I gotta say. I'm still very early in it.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if I even want to talk about like where I left off.
Oh, have you met Aranea?
Yes,
What a badass.
I recognize those tits anywhere.
Oh, I see.
Hmm.
You're one of those.
Hmm.
What kind of
Posers.
literature you've been reading lately?
I'm so mad that the Aranea DLC got canceled, and so did the plans of having her as a playable party member.
All she did was just show up, and then it's like, wow, you're like, I'm probably gonna get fucking shot for saying this, but like, wow, you're kind of like generic pretty girl, like mercenary type.
Yeah, and that's good. I want those in every game.
Okay, I'm saved another day.
Yeah, you're fine.
All right. Well,
Until
with
you know,
that-
until you're not looking.
Oh. Oh, that. Hmm. Well, with that, Jordan, my friend, what have you done this
Yeah.
week?
In case that bang got picked up on my microphone, that was my dipshit cat jumping down from the blinds.
Oof.
Sorry, continue, Jordan.
Oh, good. I've been doing a few things this week.
Hey,
recently-
fucker. Sorry. Now he's trying to eat my cookies.
Yeah, how the fuck? How dare you? Doing shit. What the fuck? Who do you think you are?
Anyways, I've done a few things. Like Steam Link is something that they've had for a while. It was for Steam Link on the phone. It makes it where you can play some Steam games. Basically you stream
Ow.
from your computer to your phone, and you
That's
can
a thing.
use your phone. Yeah. They've had it for a while. Originally, whenever it was in beta, you had to be on the same Wi-Fi, but I've tested it out a little bit. You can do it from anywhere now, as long as you have an internet connection on your phone and to your computer. You also have to make sure your computer's on,
God,
obviously.
I could have finished Witcher so much sooner.
Yeah, it has some lag issues, so don't suggest doing like more active type games. Like while I was playing, I played a little bit of Frostpunk and then Slay the Spire, and it worked fine for those since like Frostpunk you can like pause, uh, and it's not really too intuitive. Like you don't have to do like too many commands. You just you can do everything with the mouse. They have like a little controller, like a virtual controller you can use, but I haven't really tested it on anything too serious. I might test it on like Devil May Cry, to be honest, but I doubt I'm gonna be able to do well with it. Speaking of game like Frostpunk, I mentioned that earlier. That's a game that I got through Humble Bundle. Um, it was one of the games that they had. It works. It plays pretty well. I enjoy it.
I remember hearing about it like when it got released on like the usual like video game sites and stuff. I never played it though.
Yeah, it was
I
always
don't
one of
know
those.
anything about it.
It was always one of those games that I'd see it in Steam. I was like, huh, that game looks interesting. And I always see it. Like I'd see it on sale. I see that it has like a new thing came out. I never, but I always saw it and I never really thought about getting into it. But since I got it, I was like, huh, might as well check it out. It's
Mhm.
it's like basically like a city management type deal. Obviously you're trying your best to not freeze to death. I'm not too far into it, but it has some interesting things. Like you can bring in new laws. Like, for instance, there's like some that you can do one or the other. Like, one of them is soup. You can make it where you make soup.
Soup? Or
Instead of
not
like
make
doing
soup?
instead of doing full meals, you just do soup. So you can
Just
make
give people
you can
soup.
yeah you can feed more people with the same amount of food, but it's not as good as if they had the full meals.
Soup.
Or you can do food additives, which is
Put
you
little
put
people in your soup.
no, you put sawdust
Oh.
in the food
That's
to
awesome.
make it more filling.
Yeah,
That's
it's
sick.
heartier.
This
I would do that
Yeah.
immediately.
this really
Yeah,
does
it's-
sound like life in Winnipeg.
Well, and then like another law that they had was you can either do child shelters or child labor.
It just seems obvious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get more productivity.
Yeah, the lack of option
there's
of not doing either.
yeah. See, another thing you work around is there's hope that you work with. You want to keep that up, and then
You-
discontent. You want to keep that down.
You want to make
do
sure
wanna
everyone's
keep that up.
hopeful.
Yeah.
I don't like having hope.
See,
Well,
Hope
like,
is my least favorite Final Fantasy 13 party members, so
Yeah.
That's vanilla.
Why need hope when you got the Pope?
Yeah.
Start
How
praying.
about you shut the fuck up?
Yeah, fuck up.
Yeah, and then like another big law is like whether or not you should attempt to amputate people if they get frostbite. It's either
They're fine.
The answer is
Like-
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gives you two options. It's amputation or just keep
Kill
them
them.
content until they die.
They're
And
chilling.
you amputate them.
Well, that comes in the argument of like, is a crippled person worth a person?
Well, later.
Oh,
Well,
I guess
the thing
you're
about
right.
amputees,
he's
they
right.
can't work, but later
Yeah.
on, you get which I recently got. You get the ability to build them prosthetics,
Okay.
so they
Yeah.
can go back to work.
Okay.
All right.
So
I've just decided that everyone here is canceled.
oh,
Why? Why would you cancel your own wife?
She needs it.
Do I?
Yeah,
feels bad.
you deserve
Anyhow,
Yeah, you goddamn right I do.
yeah.
Frostpunk
I'm-
sounds cool. I definitely want to try it out. I don't know
Yeah,
why I've waited so
it's-
long.
Yeah, it's always been a game that like's been interesting. I always saw that it had like good reviews and stuff. I just never really looked into it. There's a
Mhm.
few games like that. But yeah, it's definitely a good game to look into, especially if you have like some free time. know,
I am
Maybe a lot
literally
of free time.
I am literally on holidays. I got free time.
Time is money, and there's no such thing as free money.
One thing I do want to say though is, anyone seen like what Humble Bundle did to change? They're like Humble Select now, I think is what it's called.
yeah.
Nope.
I've followed that since I have what is technically an active Humble monthly original subscription, but it has been paused every month for a very long time.
Well, That's
humble.
how I was, but it just automatically changed me to humble select.
Oh yeah. It carries over automatically, but I just keep not auto pause, but I go in and manually pause my subscription because they don't really have anything I'm too interested in anymore. The random games are usually just extras that aren't worth your time.
Damn, you know,
Well,
people
I
spend
got
work on that.
Frostpunk, so
Yeah,
that was
yes,
pretty good.
people still work on them, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily worth it in the end.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're not like
It's the
good games, like good, like more AAA type games or like
well,
double
that's
A
not
or
necessarily
any
even what I
A.
mean. I'm great with a lot of indie games, but then
It's like the
uh,
indie games.
Andy hates indie games. If it's pixelated, he doesn't like it.
let me put it this way.
Honestly,
He's an
ew.
Assassin's Creed boy.
Oh no.
He buys them every year.
Okay,
He'll deny
listen,
it.
listen. Let me put it this way. For everything that I dislike and hate about a AAA game where you have to climb towers and the Ubisoft format, I hate just as much the indie format of, well, we're going to take a genre that is really good, like a Metroidvania, right? Except we're going to make it a roguelike, so it's not actually a Metroidvania, but we're going to pretend it is. And that, like, the greatest part of a Metroidvania is good map design. So how about we just make a roguelike where it's completely randomized and the maps can be completely terrible?
Damn,
But they could also be completely great, Andy. That's the genius
Yeah.
of it.
See, the
Yeah.
genius is when I put the gun to my head, Scott.
Andy,
You
you know
don't-
there's more than
That's
just
not how you get
like
smarter, bro.
Yes,
there's more than indie games than just auto-generated randomly.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah. Well, that's
What
there's,
the fuck?
that's what
there's
I.
some-
Well, listen, there is. So why aren't they including more of them in the Humble Monthly?
I don't know.
Because
indie
indie
games are
suck.
bad. Wow, I
Yeah.
can't believe we're so in touch.
We're even.
You're touching.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, there's two kinds of indie games. There's the roguelike Metroidvania, or there's the quirky, subversive, fucking earthbound bullshit. I hate Undertale.
love Yeek.
God.
Yikes.
Show me the yeeks, baby.
There's one more thing I wanted to say about.
Yeah, go for it.
It'll cost
They
you.
they have like this cell of it's called Lovers it's Lovers X Fighters. And it has a bunch of fighting games and a lot of dating sim games on sale. I thought it was interesting.
The
Ooh,
perfect
are
storm.
there any like dating sim fighting games?
That's
That's why
that's an
I'm
unt-
checking.
Well, okay,
This-
that depends on your definition of dating sim.
Oh, you right.
There's
Okay.
Let's not
dating
talk
some
about
strategy
Okay,
games.
I'm curious now.
Yeah, there are. Like,
What are we talking about here?
But like, it has games like Dragon Ball Fighters. It has Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, and then it also has games like the Sakura games,
Oh no.
like Sakura Knight and all them.
No,
It
I'm
also
looking at that list
Does
right
it,
now, and I don't like this.
Does
But
it have?
It has Honey Pop.
Does it have?
Yes!
Does it have Koihime Muso? I'm just wondering.
Just curious.
is that the, okay? Listen, what
Let's
I'm
go
really
for it.
curious about when you
Don't worry
say
about it.
kind of about the dating sim fighting game hybrid.
Yeah, don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
I don't understand. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, we don't need to go into any
Well,
detail.
yeah, where are you confused, Andy?
Yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like this is a genre that can really be expanded.
I know. We should make our own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, this is
Oh,
how
hey,
the indie
Under
games
Night.
that get overlooked because of assholes like you, Andy. Say all indie games are Earthbound or
Blade
I
Blue
didn't say
Sunset
every
Battle
indie
is
game
on
was an
sale.
Earthbound.
that's what it sounds like.
That's
It's
what
funny
you
you should-
sound like.
It's funny you should mention
Bitch.
Under Night because I'm gonna mention it later. Also, it's kind of
Yeah.
funny how we're both gonna mention it. I just thought that was funny.
That's pretty funny.
I don't know what it is about your cadence that gets me every time, but it does. That's not even what I meant. Fuck.
I'm looking at the sale,
quite
and
a
they
few good
happen
games.
to have they have a little game called Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle on sale.
Do
for-
they have-
Yeah,
Sounds like
just-
some indie shit I wouldn't be interested in.
That game is last month's news.
Yeah.
Come on.
That game should be best of 5.
It is.
Shut up.
Oh, you can get Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Oh no, he's
Cool.
gonna talk about it
If
again.
people are interested.
No, that's a
Oh,
good
you get
game.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3 as well.
Yeah!
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom.
How much are both of those?
$6.93 right now for.
That's a really specific number.
Yeah, it's 72% off.
I like.
That's
the
also a
first-
specific
I
number.
like the first two numbers there.
And then there's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. There's the deluxe version and the normal. The normal is $13.87. The deluxe is $24.97.
I want to note
Okay.
Jordan is seeing these with humble discounts applied because I'm seeing it right now. Infinite for me,
Oh, okay.
standard edition is $15. Deluxe edition
Oh,
is
okay.
27.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's my bad. I forgot that I
Yeah,
get a
it
little bit more.
is your fucking bad.
Don't talk to him like that.
You're fucking owned.
Let's see.
All right. What else? Did you do anything else?
Oh, did I do anything? That is really.
Don't ask us, asshole.
Okay, he's just repeating it to fill the air while his brain does the work. Okay, it's
See, he gets
That's
it.
bad streaming etiquette.
He
Your
did a
bad
lot of
streaming
hanging.
etiquette.
I recently been playing Far Cry 5.
Oh, I actually have that.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Oh
fun,
yeah,
to be honest.
I love Far Cry. It's like how you're going to increasingly like more foreign areas, and now we're in Southern America.
Yeah.
Montana is. Wait, isn't that in Montana? That's not Southern, you dumb shit.
That's country though.
Okay, a
Southern.
Republican state. There you go.
Motherfucker, that's about as north in America as you can fucking get.
Yeah, I have a buddy who lives there, and he always just calls himself a Canadian.
Yeah, that's like.
I don't know what. I never played Far Cry 5. You could have just said fucking
You
like
apparently
Virginia or
never
something.
looked at a U.S. map either.
Oh yes, Far Cry 5, where it says, "Hey, we're from Montana,
Okay,
assholes."
Look,
I'm gonna
I've
look at some
been-
promotional things for Far Cry 5. Let's see
I've-
how many times they mention Montana. Oh, look at that! I don't see shit about Montana.
Look,
I'm
I've
just
been to
surprised
Montana.
American-
If you asked me to name any other state, I wouldn't be able to point to it. But you just said Montana was southern, and I know that shit's not true.
I never said Montana was Southern. It
You
says
just
like
fucked up big time, buddy. This is
You
like
fucking
the
asshole.
worst fuck up you could have made.
all I'm looking at is American flags, churches, fire in the background of someone making moonshine. I was like, wow, yeah, that reminds me of Alabama.
That's like as bad as you could have said like Florida was part of Canada, and I would clown you just as hard.
Can we? Can't believe we upset all of Montana, all 12 of them.
That's okay.
Shout outs to my grandma.
Yeah, but like I've never played any of the other Far Cries much, so
You're
I've
not-
been
you're okay.
enjoying this one a lot.
They're
So-
the other Far Cries are like cool because they're just as culturally insensitive, but like Montana, who cares?
I like
So-
Far Cry 1 and 2.
Far Cry
Yeah.
1, wow.
Like I played a
Yeah.
little bit of 2, and I played.
I
think
love
it's the
3,
one I
not
played.
because of the setting, but because of like it's kind of an interesting progression. I don't really like Voss that much, the villain.
what's
everyone
really,
talks about.
what's really funny.
You're gonna talk
about-
shit. I'm messing with him.
Duh. But
Just
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, what's really funny about Far Cry is they made a whole point about the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again,
Oh my god.
and then they did the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Which, in like my perspective,
I'm surprised you didn't
Like,
mention
since I-
Skyrim with guns.
since I never played the other games, like I feel like that makes it where I'm enjoying this one better.
For sure.
Yeah,
Because-
because the mechanics that they've stolen from previous games are really damn good mechanics.
Yep.
Yeah, it's it's
I felt that way
Like-
about Assassin's Creed Syndicate, funny enough. I'm not an Assassin's Creed guy, but I went into Syndicate and
Yeah.
I had a decent amount of fun. I'm not going to say it's
Yeah,
an amazing
a lot of people
game, but...
a lot of people don't like Syndicate. Like a lot of people I know who are Assassin's Creed like through and through. They're like, "Oh, Syndicate was bad," and I was like,
Get a load of the
I don't know.
Assassin's Creed guy.
imagine
over here.
Unity though. Have you
I
played
didn't
Unity?
play
I
Unity.
will
I
not
only
play
play
Unity.
like
I
only play
s-
like every third Assassin's Creed game.
I played
played-
that game on release and it
Oh.
was amazing.
I played every single game as they came out and stopped at Unity.
Unity was a piece of work. That's
Hey,
for
do you
sure.
remember that hay bale that if you jumped into the game would lock up?
No, I didn't get there. I got locked up because for some reason, like I went to climb up a wall and then I went to jump off the side, but my character just decided to walk like there's a tightrope, and he walked off the screen, and I couldn't see
That's
anything ever
awesome.
again.
Yeah,
And like the game was stuck there, and my character was on the other side of the map, and
there
I
was
couldn't do anything.
there was a hay bale that if you jumped into, the game would just freeze. And it was not like a freak occurrence because every time I went to that hay bale, the game would just freeze. Just like completely
Damn.
reproducible. That hay bale did not work.
Yeah. I do know that one time there was like a stealth mission where you're supposed to like lag behind a boat and try to not get detected. But I was like, screw it. I jumped in the middle of the boat, and then everyone proceeded to stand up and attempt to jump off the side. They all got stuck in the same spot, and then they just were in infinite free fall while the boat went to a
Nice.
destination.
That
And while I was standing on the boat, instead of me going with the boat, I stood in solid in air basically while the boat moved. So in order for me to not fall in the water, I had to walk with the boat, and it it
Well,
was an
that's-
experience.
That's how real boats work. That's what they mean by sea legs.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah, and like they didn't detect me. It's the funniest thing. So they freaked out, jumped off the side, but it didn't end the mission. I guess it just didn't expect you to do what I did, and like I didn't get
What?
detected
Do a pro gamer move?
until they got to the destination. And whenever I got to the destination, it saved a checkpoint of where they're already at. So me getting detected didn't really change anything. So it was like the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. My friend Dylan, he actually has it recorded. If we can find it, then we'll send it.
Sounds pretty hilarious.
Assassin's
Um,
Creed Unity is a video game for sure.
It
I
does
played-
exist. I give you that.
I played Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, 4, and then Syndicate and Odyssey, I think. So I played like a decent amount of them. Nibbler, what the fuck are you doing? Sorry. Anyway,
Obviously upset at your
Ah.
Assassin's Creed opinions.
yeah,
I can't believe Scott's cat is going to assassinate him for his Assassin's Creed opinions.
he's gonna do it. He knocked something over. Anyway,
He's a Ubisoft plant.
and yeah, he is. Anyway, I don't know. I think the games are okay. I'm not really big on like any of them in particular, but I did like Black Flag a lot.
Yeah,
Black Flag
yeah,
was
Black
great.
Flag. I forgot that existed.
Because
Mostly
it
for
was
the
different.
mostly for the piratey stuff. It reminded me a lot of like when I used to play Sid Meier's Pirates all the time.
Yeah, well,
So I like doing the
like-
piratey
Oh
stuff.
shit, that game exists. I forgot. That's
Yeah.
like actually really good one.
That game is good as
the thing
fuck.
about Black Flag though was it wasn't really an Assassin's Creed game. It was a pirate game.
Yeah,
And
it was a
that-
pirate
that-
game with Assassin's Creed stuff in it.
And that's why
Yeah.
it was good.
Yep.
Yeah, because they changed it up. They focused around something completely different, which they attempted to go back to in a few other games. Which
It's
didn't
kind
go
of
out very
bizarre how
well.
they did that because they took a thing that no one did in Assassin's Creed 3 and turned it into an entire game.
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah. I used
just-
to sing the sea shanties daily. It was a good
yeah,
time.
dude, yeah. The game was just really fun to play, because
I love that Edward is like
Scissorhands.
I love that
Yeah,
movie.
Edward Kenway. He was really
He-
fun to play as.
He wants like nothing to do with the assassin bullshit. He like immediately just like I'm gonna kill this dude and run his pockets and pretend to be an assassin.
Yeah,
This shit is stupid. It was great.
yeah. He, in my opinion, he's probably my favorite out of any of the protagonists you play as.
Yeah, because of I almost said Far Cry. Fuck, my brain is fried. Because of Assassin's Creed 4, half the time I say Jesus now, I just say Jesus. Because that's how he always said it.
Yeah,
it's
it was,
Jesus, that's all.
Yeah, no,
But-
like literally they never once say Jesus because I guess, I don't know, they don't want to say that. So they say Jesus.
No, that's how my
J-A-Y
grandmother
sus.
used. My grandmother, who's a hardcore Catholic, would say it like that.
Okay, well, that
Jesus.
doesn't,
I think.
that,
I
that-
think.
that doesn't count.
I
I think
think
it's just
that-
an accent thing.
Yeah.
well,
Either way, it was I noticed it and it was noticeable
mhm.
so much that I started doing it in real life.
No one would talk to me ever again after that.
Yeah, no one talks to me in general.
We talk to you, bro.
Yeah,
Only once a week during our legally
Yeah,
required
yeah.
meetups.
yeah, that's it. Never any
legally
other
required.
time.
Yeah, no one ever speaks to Scott. In fact, the only time
Lauren speaks to me.
in fact, the only
Lauren's my
time,
real friend.
I mean, if you ever want to like join a voice call while we're in it,
No,
you're
I'm
free
just
to, bro.
Jordan. I'm just kidding. I
Jordan
know.
over here like offering, like, hey, if you ever want to join me, that's fine, but I'll never join you.
He's like, bro, are you sad? Like, don't be sad. I'm here for you, brother.
Damn.
That's Jordan. It's Jordo.
But yeah, I guess that's it for me.
all right.
All right.
And with
So, I mean,
that,
we're rolling it on to me.
Scott, that's your turn. Scott, what did you do this week? It better be good. It better be good, Scott. You better be playing something cool, Scott.
Not a whole lot. Like, I started my holidays a couple days ago, so I don't work for 9 days. But due to like outside extraneous circumstances, I haven't really had much time to do fun things. And I'm gonna be able to like starting tonight and tomorrow. But the week before that, I mostly listened to music. I didn't have much to play. I've been playing like Fantasy Star Online because we got into the beta, which we'll go into more detail on, so I won't talk too much about what I did. I've been playing Grand Blue Fantasy Versus because that game kicks ass. Colton just dropped out of the call.
Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Yeah,
He'll-
he disappeared.
Oh, he's offline entirely. I wonder if his Wi-Fi cut out.
Oh shit. Maybe it did. Anyway, I've been playing Grand Blue Fantasy Versus because Colton got 2 copies of it, of the Japanese version, and then like gave one to me. So that game is really fun. I'm not super good at it because I've never really been good at fighting games, even though I've been playing them since high school.
I don't know anything about it, so I can't really comment.
It's closer to a Street Fighter game than it is like an anime like Guilty Gear Air Dasher, even though it's made by Arxis.
No.
It's it's a bit more slow. There's no air dashing. A lot of it's on like neutral, like 2 combos and the game is over. Like it's pretty deliberate. I mean, this is all coming from someone who's not particularly good at it, right? It's take that with a grain of salt. But it just seems like more slow paced, which is a lot easier for me because I play Catalina, which is why my Discord name is Catalina Player.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I know, fucked up, right? And she's kind of like the Ryu, where she has good buttons, she has a fireball, she has a Shoryuken. That's it. She doesn't really have any crazy gimmicks. She's good if you're good, and if you're not good, then she's bad. She's also very pretty.
You know what? That's fair.
That is fair. Yeah, that's it for video games. Just Fantasy Star and Grand Blue, really, because like I finished Final Fantasy 12. I haven't played much Witcher 1 because I've had my laptop kind of packed up for a little while, so I haven't really been able to bust it out and play it. But I will get back to that because The Witcher is a cool series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's it for games. Music, I didn't do any crazy like go through whole discography things. I've just been listening to a couple albums like that I've listened to before pretty heavily. This is like way back, I think on like maybe the first or second episode when Ming was here. We think we briefly touched on an album called Hospice by the Antlers.
Sounds familiar.
And like, yeah, I was listening to that. That album is horribly sad. I don't know why I was listening to it, but I've been listening. I think I tweeted about it. I don't know if you saw because it's at like 3 a.m. But that album's been out for like almost 11 years, and I've been listening to it since release. So like, I was kind of just thinking about that, and so I was getting nostalgic for it. I was listening to it. Yeah, great album. It's like a little indie rock. I don't know, like indie post rock. I don't know how to describe it really. I can't think of much that it sounds like. It's a concept album about abusive relationships in general, and also about a guy who falls in love with a cancer patient, and how that goes. So it's very sad, but it's a good album. It's an album, like I said, I've listened to forever, so I relate it to a lot of things. I've never been in love with a cancer patient, obviously, but I've listened to the album during a lot of heavy shit, so listening to it is nice. Aside from that album, I swear I'm okay.
Are you okay?
The other album I've been listening to a lot is Stage 4 by Touche Amore.
Okay, listen.
Guess what that's about?
Yeah, with a name like that, Scott.
Yeah.
Scott, listen. On a My Chemical Romance scale, I think you're Shush.
Not okay.
Yeah, you're
I'm
not okay.
No, I'm fine. I don't know. A lot of stuff I listen to is sad. I'm not particularly sad. It's just a good album. Touche Amore is a really fun band, even if their songs aren't lyrically very fun. Musically, they're very fun.
Hmm.
But yeah, Stage 4 is about the vocalist's mother like passing away from cancer, and the songs are all about like him dealing with that. Some of the lyrics are really, really, really hard, but like I don't know. It's a good album. I wouldn't recommend it like if you've been dealing with that shit because it's really sad.
Yeah.
But good album if you like hardcore anyway.
Hmm.
That's kind of it. I didn't do like I said. I've been listening to those. Like I've been listening to like other random shit, like A Day to Remember, just random shit really. But the two things I focused on a lot were Touche Amore and The Antlers. But that's kind of it. Like I said, not much. Like I'm gonna be doing most of my stuff this coming week because I'm on holidays, whereas before I was working. So that's kind of it, though. It's been all right.
All right, all right.
All right.
All right. If
Oh,
Colton,
we can't move on to the next guy because
Yeah.
his internet fucking died.
Yeah.
He's gone.
I can't believe Colton's dead. He's just off there in a bathroom in heaven.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
shame since I had this great little slide
that's
for him.
that's like the worst thing that could have happened because he had a bunch of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, actually. I'm gonna light up the
Hold it
little
off till he gets back.
little Colton button. It's lit up
That
now.
motherfucker.
It's lit up now, just so that he can
Oh, it's
see it.
lit up.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's lit up.
Pretty lit up.
It's lit up. It's deep fried. It'll call him back to us.
Hi, I'm Colton. I sure do love my wife.
And that's not what he'd say.
Yeah, it is.
That sounds like someone who doesn't
That's-
love his wife.
That's not what he would say to you,
Hmm.
but that's what he would say to me.
Are we sure about that?
Yes.
Really? Guess we're sure about
Mhm. Oh, I'm sure.
that. Okay.
I'm pretty unsure about anything anymore.
Yeah, we're fucked now.
Well, anyways,
our
since
pay
Colton,
pig is gone.
since Colton is dead, we're just gonna have a short memorial here.
I got my candles ready.
Yep,
I
that
have
was
my
that was a moment.
incense.
That was absolutely a moment of silence. We just had a
Yeah.
moment of silence now for anyone just tuning in. We just had a moment of silence. Colton is dead.
Tuning in, we're having a minute of silence moment. A moment of
You're
silence.
doing great.
Yeah,
Pneumonia of silence.
That's what I feel like I have.
So anyways, since we've got the coronavirus of silence,
Oh my god.
let's talk
he
about
says
let's
he
talk
says
about
a breaker blue.
Oh wait, a breaker blue.
Yeah, but that means he should be back online now because all you got to do is flip it.
Yeah.
I'm a handyman.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's handy, all right.
Listen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see if he'll be back in a few. I guess in the meantime, we can discuss Kurt Cobain. Now, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to talking about Kurt Cobain. I mean, for starters, he was killed by his wife, Courtney Love.
Yeah, there was no suicides there. It's
Why
all
couldn't
murder.
we just keep the streak of 6 episodes in a row without talking about Kurt Cobain?
We talked about him on each episode, or at
Yeah.
least made a joke about it.
Yeah, no, we've talked about Kurt Cobain in every episode.
Unbelievable.
I just
You
want
know
to
that
say,
song? You know that song "Mo Murda" by Bone Thugs and Harmony? That song was about Courtney Love.
Damn.
Mo Murda. That song
Just
kicks
giving
ass.
it to us.
Yeah. Raw, I'm gonna give it to you. No trivia.
So while we're thinking here about,
Like cocaine straight from Bolivia.
Yo,
It's Breaker's Revenge.
Welcome back, my dear.
welcome back, Colton. Colton, I'd like to ask you an important question. What's your favorite Nirvana album?
Oh no, he's gonna get shot.
Cut My Life into Pieces.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Dean, what's your favorite Nirvana album?
The one where he was still alive.
None
That's
of
a good
them.
one. Oh,
Yeah.
Scott, what's your favorite Nirvana album?
Last time you asked me this, I said never mind. That was wrong. It's actually In Utero.
Yeah, In Utero is a pretty good choice. I've been thinking it over, and I think my favorite is actually MTV
The
Unplugged
Downward
in New York.
Spiral.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh no.
And it's like it's not a studio album, but I don't know. Their MTV Unplugged in New York album, just live album, just fantastic. I think it's got my favorite rendition of some of their songs. And it's not. I own it on vinyl. I'm just gonna out myself here.
Ooh, fancy.
I own MTV Unplugged in New York on vinyl. I'd listen to it all the time. Uh, I mean, maybe I should just get In Utero on vinyl and listen to that all the time as well. But
The first vinyl I ever got was David Bowie's Space Oddity.
oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
that was a fucking cool
really good
album.
one. But I miss David Bowie.
Me too. Oh, that actually, you know what? This is a little bit of a story. It's not very long. Did I tell you about what happened the first time I listened to Black Star?
No, you didn't.
So I bought Black Star, and I was like, yeah, I can't wait to listen to the new Bowie album. And I'm listening to it. I'm like, this album is really fucking good. Holy shit. And I'm sitting there, and my buddy Rob sends me a text. And he's like, bro, did you hear about David Bowie? And I was like, yeah, his new album kicks ass. And he was like, no. He's fucking dead.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm sitting there listening to fucking, oh, what was it? Was it Lazarus? The one where he's like, look at me, I'm up in heaven or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck? And I had like I was like, this is fucked. And I had to like stop listening to it. I was like, no. This is fucking weird.
This can't be real.
Yeah, like that was fucked. I never got the initial like listening to it while he was alive. Because people, I remember seeing it come out and reading reviews about it and people saying like these lyrics seem like really dark and cryptic. And so I started listening to it and then found out he died. And I was like, holy shit, this all makes sense. And it's so fucking weird and disturbing. And so I stopped listening to it. And then I eventually, finished it. And I was like, that's probably, I don't know, like second favorite Bowie album. It's really fucking good.
What's your first favorite Bowie album?
Aladdin Sane.
Mm.
What's yours?
Probably Space Oddity.
Good pick.
So, Dean, what's your favorite David Bowie album?
This is where I get shot when I say I don't listen to David Bowie.
I hate
Alright,
you.
alright.
Why do you continue to exist? Just go listen to like Five Finger Death Punch, to be honest.
Okay,
Whoa,
calling.
hold
This
up.
is where Jordan comes out of the woodwork.
Yo, hold up.
Hey, Jordan,
That's
since
why
you're
I said
alive,
it.
what's your favorite Nirvana album?
Nirvana?
None of your business.
I don't know any names.
I see how it be.
Hold up.
American Idiot.
Yes.
All right. Let's get back on the rails here. Colton has returned to our loving embrace.
That's true. So,
So
Colton,
should he do his week?
Yes,
Because like
Colton.
he dropped out as I started mine.
Colton, you're free here. What did you do this week?
I'm finally free. I've rid myself of these chains. It
Good.
only took 225 hours, but I've finished The Witcher 3. Maybe the longest game that has ever. I don't think I've ever played a game for progress that long in my entire life. But it was good. I enjoyed it. The DLC is good, but also kind of anticlimactic. I don't know. Good game. I recommend playing that thing. It's solid. Then Grand Blue Fantasy Versus is the hot
Yeah.
new fighting game of the week.
Yeah, we've been playing that. Mostly you've been playing that. I've kind of been watching you beat my ass. But
It came out in Japan recently, and I accidentally fucked up. I made a little fucky wucky. I made a big dumbass, and I bought the game twice on accident.
totally accidentally.
It was, in fact, an accident, sort of, but it was
Yes.
done, and I own up to that. I accept my mistakes. I dropped a container of blackberries today and offered to pay for it, and she said, "Don't." And so I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry," and I left with my tail between my legs. But
Cool.
but I owned up to my mistake. I now have 2 copies of the game, and it's fun. Like, it's very simple. I wonder how the competitive life for it will be in the long run. Yada yada yada. But I think it'll be fun for a little bit at the very least.
Yeah. Hopefully it keeps an audience. Like I don't know. I like it a lot, but that's also because I don't know dick about fighting games. I just play them.
Bit of a
So-
weirdo.
You're a bit of a shut up, fuck you, little.
Yeah, you little such and such, which leads me to my
Yeah.
next segment of my week, where I talk about the coming week, where coming, where the rest of the week I will spend beating Dean's ass,
Oh.
just really fucking giving it to him,
Damn.
just a 1-2 punch, except it'll be 7 punches because that many days of the week.
Yeah.
I did something
Unbelievable.
else. I just pre-ordered the new version of Under Night, which I guess comes out in 9 days. So looking forward to that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's coming out soon. Under Night EXE. No, Under Night In Birth EXE Late Claire.
Late Claire.
Who the fuck is Claire?
When you fuck up a speedrun in RE2,
I would never.
I'll see myself out.
All right, so we've got a question in the chat here from Mirage
Ooh.
Leonardo 84. Good to see you again, man. He says,
Oh,
I have a
wow.
question for everyone. If you had to make a new horror game IP for PlayStation 5, what would it be about? I, for one, am tired of the zombie genre when it comes to horror games. However, I will admit that I did enjoy Dead Island. Jordan has actually been playing a bunch of Dead Island lately with
Dead
Dylan
Island
and
is really
Sarah.
fun, even if it's jank. And,
Play-
like, I love jank, so,
More jank than horror.
yeah.
But,
Play Dead Rising.
but when it comes
Yeah,
to,
Dead
like...
Rising.
Yeah,
I mean, new horror game IP.
Shut the fuck up! I'm
Yeah.
speaking right now.
Yeah.
Play Dead Rising.
That's-
okay, but for a
Do
new
you like
IP,
duct
though.
tape? I don't think there's a good answer for this.
I think there is. If Capcom won't bring back Dino Crisis, I'll do it on my own.
Dinosaur based
Dino
horror
Crisis,
game?
yeah.
Alternatively,
Resident Evil, but with dinosaurs. I almost said Resident Evil, but with zombies. Fuck, man, I can't talk.
Honestly,
all right.
that'd be more fucking mind blowing than the dinosaurs one.
Just hear me out. What if Death Stranding was scary?
What
That'd
if
be
it was
fucking
even a
sick.
horror game?
You're
I-
a horror game.
I will-
Every time you talk, I recoil.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
here's a good idea for a horror game. You have to be on a podcast with Dean.
Holy shit, dude.
Actually,
That's
this is the
raw.
perfect segue. Because I was wondering earlier this week, why the fuck in Five Nights at Freddy's are you at the end of a hallway with 2 open doors in a security room, and why do the fire shutters require power to stay closed? They have 2 states, open and closed. There should be no power required to sit in either of those states, only to transition. So why the fuck does it take power?
The alternative is dying
That's what that's-
alone with no food when the power goes out.
Bring
I mean,
snacks.
I think when creating a place that's full of children where they eat pizza, if the door's shut and they can't be opened if there's a power outage, I think that's a little bit more on the bucket list than like expecting ghosts to haunt your fucking animatronics.
If you come like the next day and see that the fire doors are closed, you just like give it a knock and someone goes like, "Hey, I'm in here." Just call the fire department. It's that fucking easy. Like,
But then there wouldn't be a
That'd be
video
designing
game.
for failure.
also, just hear me out, right? If it takes power to power the lights and the doors, and like, why the fuck do you have cameras, a phone?
I don't think you're asking the
fucking
right questions here. Why don't you go into the fucking dining hall and get some tables and barricade that shit?
Yeah, right. Like, just, like turn everything else off, close the doors. You're good. Who gives a shit if they're at the doors? They can't open them. Clearly.
My question is, if you
That's
run out of
not
power-
even like remotely like close to the question that was asked, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, it was like, what new game horror game IP would you come up with for the PlayStation if we had to make one?
If I had to make, oh god, I couldn't like
That's the
create
thing.
something. That's fucked up. All of my like screen names or like anything are just based off things from games I saw.
The thing
Which is
about
why if I made my own horror game, it would just be a new Siren game.
I think if I were to like make like I said the Dino Crisis thing earlier like half jokingly because like I think dinosaurs are cool. I still consider the original Jurassic Park one of my favorite movies ever. So it's like that's something that I'm totally into here, even if like zombie horror isn't totally my thing. But if I were to make a game that was like specifically designed to be both cool and scary, specifically to my taste at the same time, I think I would go for something that went all in on supernatural things.
So Evil Within.
So a horror game?
Okay. I'm saying this very poorly because when I say supernatural things, my mind goes to my like what I specifically associate with that word. But like,
Ghosts?
let's just go
Zoinks.
more things that are surreal and should not be happening. Very clearly otherworldly. It's not an easily revealed threat.
That's a different thing because Layers of Fear did that.
Yeah, Layers
And-
of Fields did that.
Shut up! You don't get to make fun of my stupid voice. It's me. That's only my job. But Layers of Fear, it had this weird thing where you're so used to getting, like, oh yeah, sure, the fucking walls are bleeding blood, and the rubber duckies that you had in the bathtub are all screaming Tarkovsky's like fucking whatever, and it's like, yeah, that's the normal now. And the only time you get scared is when things are no longer normal, because that's just like you set your players up to expect things. It's like, oh, if the normal is constantly ghosts like dicking around the halls, then where's the scary part in that?
That's a really good thing. I
Fearometer.
don't think I've ever actually played Layers of Fear. I think I might own it on Xbox through Games with Gold or something.
It's a walking game.
Well, I mean, if it's
More
a
of
horror,
a walking and seeing the spookies happen.
When you think about it, isn't every game a walking game?
No, some are driving games.
What about Dragon Ball Fighters?
That's
You
a
have to
that's
walk
a
in that
that's a
occasionally.
no. It's more like dashes. But I guess you could walk, yeah,
Yeah, if you're a
you-
shitlord.
if you really wanted. I'm trying to think of something I'd make and answer this question, and I've been doing a little bit of thinking.
Wow.
Not because I'm mostly been
That's a
taking like,
first.
shut the fuck up. I've been taking some. I was thinking about like horror movies and how just like how wrong they keep getting it lately, and I just thought back to my favorite horror movie of all time, John
Friday
Carpenter's The
the
Thing.
13th 3.
John Carpenter's The Thing, and I was thinking about like a game where I don't want to make it sound like you're playing Clue except find the murderer, but it's kind of like that, where like you gotta find like it. I don't know how you would make this into an actual game, but there's like if there's an obvious threat and it's taking you out one by one, this could be survival management, and you gotta find out. Like you could even just call this like who's the werewolf or whatever.
And
or,
that's how
you know,
Mafia works.
That's how
Pretty
Mafia
much.
works.
yeah. But if you can turn that into a more narrative thing where like you have these clues you gotta find out and you gotta come up with creative ways to test it. There is a The Thing game for PlayStation 2. I
Yeah.
don't know anything about it, but I
Yeah, that
doubt
game is
I
that
actually
game is
know
good.
stuff about it. Yeah, that
Yeah,
game
that
is
the game is
really
good as hell, actually.
There's a The Thing mod
Feels-
for an RTS. I don't remember which one. I also don't care. Just straight up being
Jesus.
honest.
it's really hard to do horror because not many things scare people.
I mean,
like
well,
you could have
What the fuck is that behind you?
you can there's different ways to do it because like Dead Space like Dead Space, Doom 3.
Oh, I
and,
love Resident Evil in space.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but like they had different ways of doing it because in Doom 3 it was basically, oh no, there's a closet and you open it up and there's a monster who goes a biggly biggly boo. And in a Dead Space, it's like, oh no, it's a well lit hallway and there's a monster going to biggly biggly boo very slowly at you. Oh no, he's running. That's
Yeah.
kind of like
See,
that's-
every horror game works on me because everything makes me jump.
yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm horribly jump. Like
There's-
I'll watch something and be like, this is not scary at all, and then it jumps, and then I jump, but not because I'm scared, but
Mhm.
because that's what my body does.
Well, see,
there's a thing. There's literally a movie. I'm gonna.
I
let
said,
you
well,
talk,
see
Colin.
first. Yeah,
Hey.
thank you.
This is just a short turn thing, but there's
Uh,
literally a horror movie that got everyone's jump scared from a fucking loud drill. If that gives you a good description of today's horror like media. All right, go ahead,
Nice.
Colton.
Okay, so see, for me, horror, that shit's scary. I don't, like, that's kind
Holy
of
shit!
normal. But like, if you have to survive in that horror, fucking easy. Got this shit. You need me
Yeah.
to like be stingy with my bullets? Absolutely. Stingy with money? What the fuck? Who are you? But bullets? Got that shit. And like, if something's like, I'm gonna fucking scare you and come at you, and you're like, ah, fuck, I'm gonna only use one bullet. But if something's like, I'm gonna come at you and there's no risk, I'll be like, please don't.
Oh no, I'm in a
Just go
cutscene
away.
and there's a scary.
When it comes to how things scare me, I am a gigantic baby. I want to play
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 Remake badly, but I can't without someone in the room to assure me that it's all going to be okay. So I am
Can't
more
even play Ravenholm.
Listen, so actually, is this the third week in a row where we've talked about me being a coward? I think this is the
Yeah.
third
Yeah.
week in a this is
Yeah,
the third
I
week
don't
in
think
a
I can stop.
this is the third week in a row where we've talked about me being a coward. So I want to get into more Resident Evil games. However, I could just any of you just like drive to my house, just like stand in the room and be like, just turn the light on.
I'll
Just,
get,
Yeah,
I'll
we're
get my
here.
passport. I'll get my
Yeah,
passport.
I'll
And we'll
see
make a
you.
night of it.
I'll stand in
You're
a
gonna
dimly
turn
lit
around and I'm
corner
dressed up
go,
as a 14th century Italian man.
I would have a heart attack.
I'm gonna stand in a dimly lit corner and go, ooh.
Okay,
I'm
I'm gonna
maybe
stand in
not
a
heart
dimly
attack
lit
worthy.
corner and just do nothing.
That's the
I'm
That's
most
gonna Blair
terrifying
Witch in the
thing.
corner.
Just Blair witching.
I would actually, I would look like a witch from fucking Left 4 Dead if I just like put my hair down. Oh my god.
And
It's
now-
really hard to do, like, because in horror games, everything's kind of been taken by big IPs.
I won't
Uh,
say
Bring
everything.
back Silent Hill. Bring back Silent Hill. Do it right now.
I really want them to, but I also kind of don't because of the recent games.
Oh yeah, it would probably be terrible, but
Most likely.
I want to believe.
I think of it this way.
I want a Silent Hill 2 again.
I don't think.
I
I know
think
you
like
don't.
a remake of a previous Silent Hill game would probably do better than a flat out new Silent Hill game at this point, just because
Yeah,
of
but
Yeah.
they tried remaking it once and it fucking sucked.
Okay. When I say remake, I don't mean remaster. I mean full on Resident Evil 2 remake.
No, don't do that.
Reboot.
It needs to be janky or it loses the charm.
what if just hear me out. What if Kojima made a new Silent Hill?
That's fucking pipe dream, dude.
Oh shit, sorry.
You're all get off of it. Oh yeah, the room that existed. I forgot about that thing.
I think the room is underrated, but I do think it's not better than 1, 2, or 3. But there's some people who like 1, 2, and 3 and say 4 sucked, and those people are wrong.
I think 4 has a lot going for it, like conceptually.
Conceptually.
I do.
Such a
Oh.
good ass game.
Yeah, I do like. It's
Classmating.
like the only thing I can really say about the 4 is like it's one of the few like things that kind of like visually sticks with me, with like the door and the hole and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's some really good visuals. Like
It's when you compare it alongside Silent Hill 2, yeah, I can't. I can't.
Silent Hill 2 was really honestly like the horror wasn't even like my favorite part. It was the psychological shit.
Yeah,
all
but that you
all
could
the
call that
characters.
horror.
Yeah, like no, I'm not saying it's not horror. I mean like what interested me more is like how the characters developed and like dealing with their problems and shit was really cool to me. Like how all the enemies' designs were based on certain things.
Yeah, that's and they just like, oh wait, Pyramid Head's really popular. Let's just put him in
I
everything.
hate
He's in a
that.
movie now. He's
I
in a
hate
movie.
Stop telling me.
All right, let me
That
pitch
made
a
me
new,
so angry.
Let me pitch a new idea. We make a
I'll
game
catch.
that is just like Resident Evil.
Okay.
Okay.
Which one? The first?
That's it. No,
There's
That's
just
it.
another Resident Evil.
Take your pick.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it Evil Within.
Nah, I'm
Oh,
gonna call
you
it
know, actually-
Parasite Eve.
Oh. I really wanted to play Evil Within, but I never did.
It's okay to describe it in like a really quick game. It's a horror game about horror.
Cool.
It's like okay, what's scary? Homeless people.
Ah!
No!
Bro,
Fuck!
bro, honestly,
Warn us
you,
Sewer levels.
you heard my stories the last couple of weeks with the fucking meth heads. Homeless people are scary.
Yeah, but it's just like
Just
Evil
give them
Within.
$5. They're chilling.
When people say in like the trailers, like if you can't see the floor, it makes it scarier. I'm like, no, I don't think that's how it works. But
But what
it's
if
just
you walk
so-
off a ledge? You'd never know.
Yeah, you would never know.
Yeah, because I can't see the floor.
What if the
Yeah,
floor is
that's-
lava?
What is the name of that place in Dark Souls where like everything's just pitch black?
Tomb of the Giants.
4chan.
Tomb of the Giants. Yeah, yeah. They in order to compensate for the fact you can't see anything, they put giant skeletons in there. to
Yeah,
help
it was
you out.
cool. Yeah, very helpful.
It's a very touchy thing.
Fuck. Okay, I know this is going on a little sidetracked. Everyone always talks about how Dark Souls people will like fuck up and go to the catacombs first and get blasted. I did that,
Oh.
but like I made it through.
Oh.
Yeah,
'Cause,
it's
like,
possible, and
yeah,
if
no,
you do
it's
that,
possible because unless you have like a holy weapon unless you have a holy weapon or I forget what it is, but the skeletons keep coming back to life basically. So I knew that like I was fighting them and like that they're not dying, and so I just ran. I ran through that whole area, and I
Speedrun
was like I did it, and then I found out that wasn't where I was supposed to go first, and I was like, I'm good at
Damn
video
it.
games.
Shreds.
It's like I'm actually God. But yeah, that was cool.
You know, like anything is achievable as long as you like. You may have to cry once or twice, but you can get through it.
Yeah.
I beat Dead Rising while doing absolutely none of the side quests.
I thought you said I beat
completely
I
zero.
beat Dead Rising while doing Absinthe.
Oh no.
That would be impressive.
At this rate, I could do that as well. Zero side quests, Absinthe, and a little bit of Tears, and we'd get right through that game.
And the DLC.
What the fuck era do you think Dead Rising 1 is from?
Oh, I thought we were still talking about Dark Souls.
No.
I could beat Dark Souls with a bit of Tears too. Easy.
Easy tears.
They lubricate my
Controller.
reactions.
Yeah. It's like free oiling.
Okay.
Oh, jack off.
I'm actually. Wait a second. They didn't port Dead Rising 3 to PS4?
I never even played Dead Rising 3.
I thought they
Dead
did.
Rising 3? That was
I
on
know
Xbox One, right?
It
Yeah,
was an Xbox One
One
launch title,
exclusive.
but
yeah, I
Yeah.
remember playing
I
it.
know it's out on Steam. I thought it came to PS4 with it since Dead Rising 4 did. It was just a timed exclusive.
Capcom staying on one console? What the fuck?
What the huh?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I played a lot of 1 and 2. I never touched 3 though, not for any particular reason. I just never got around to it.
It's less colorful, I can give you that for a reason.
That's good. I like things that are gray and drab and sad.
Brown.
I'm iffy on that one.
Whoa.
I was gonna make a joke about like last gen games, but I can't really think of one.
Last gen games in general.
Yeah. That's the joke.
Yeah, people joke about Unreal Engine 3, but I keep feeling like there's gotta be some Unreal 3 thing that had, some semblance of color. I know that when they were developing UE4, like one of the main things they did was like we want to make it much easier to make games that, look like they have life in them, because let's face it, the majority of UE3 games looked dead, and I don't know how much of that was an engine thing where it was easier to just make things look dead, or if it was just a generational thing, or a bit of both.
Well, I mean, it could just be said as like, well, if we just mute everything, it kind of looks more realistic. I mean,
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you blur it, you can confuse your brain with thinking, yeah, I guess you use your imagination to fill in the gaps.
Just have that awkward dad come in and go, "Oh shit, this looks like real life."
Yeah, that's
Every
so
time.
realistic. Remember
God.
Dead Space 2? It'll
That
scare
shit
your
looked
mom.
like real life.
Yeah.
Scare
The
your
only
mom
the only
campaign.
time I ever had like one of my parents like come in and be like, "Wow, that looks like," was when I was playing MGS5.
That's a okay game to come in on.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, what was I doing? I think I was like telling D-Dog to murder somebody. And
Slice his throat.
what? Anyway, and I was doing
least it
that,
wasn't
and then
quiet.
like a dust storm happened, and my mom came downstairs, and she was like, "Wow, that looks so like real," as like he's like ripping the guy's throat out, and I was like, Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
I
it is
think-
extremely.
I can think of 2 times that my parents had said games looked very realistic. The more recent one was my mom saw me playing FF15 and just like looked at the landscapes and stuff, and she was like, "This
She's
looks."
like, wow, those guys really do look like NSYNC.
I had Noctis wearing the mariachi costume, so I don't think he looked like
Oh my
NSYNC.
God.
If a game gives me a mariachi costume, they're gonna wear it. I played through all of Metal Gear Rising as Mariachi Raiden.
Not the
As
full
you
name,
should.
couldn't understand.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. If my stepdad walks into the room while I'm, I hate to say it, but gaming,
Exercising.
he will say it looks like real life, unless it is, unless it doesn't. In which case, he will say it looks gay.
Oh,
Nice. I
Uh,
love that.
but then I do think, yeah, I'm thinking back. I was playing like this had to be like 2013, 2014, because I had my first computer. I'm playing Batman Arkham City on the lowest possible graphics settings, and like in like a stretched 4:3 resolution because I had a 16:9 monitor. I think no wait,
And that shit
Yeah, no,
still
that was
looks like real life.
yeah, and then and he just sees me playing, and his first question was, "Why is Batman getting beat up?" His second question, his second statement was, "This looks just like real life." My answer to why is Batman getting beat up was, "That's because I'm Batman." He said, "Oh, it makes sense now."
Oh, that's why it was so easy to beat your ass.
Got another question in the
Yeah.
chat.
He says, pick a game that came out between 2010 to 2019 that you played and beat that you consider underrated.
Ooh.
His personal pick is Binary Domain, and I agree with that. Binary Domain kicked ass.
That's a really good pick.
Pretty good.
What would mine be?
Still
I'm
alive?
I'm looking at
Holler
the-
if you're dead.
I see that too,
Minecraft.
yeah.
No.
I see
Dean,
that
I-
you specifically picked 2010 just to be an asshole to me, but
I'm thinking.
I'll let that slide.
Let's see, 2010 to 2013 or 2019, not 2013. Oh, my
Yeah,
brain
it's
is.
2013.
Is the year right now is 2013. Okay, we have not moved
Yeah,
since
that's
then.
the year then.
I have only known
That's
Dean for
gonna
3
take me a
months.
minute to think because I played. That was back when I was doing I was playing every fucking JRPG under the sun.
Mm.
So that's gonna take me a second.
I mean, I could say everyone should play Hat in Time because they definitely should.
That's not underrated though.
Yeah,
That's
no,
definitely
it got
underrated.
it got a really good reception, which I'm grateful for. So I'm not going to
Mhm.
use that, but you should play Hat in Time if you haven't.
I've been thinking about it.
I
It's
think
So all I've been
about it.
playing lately is like fighting games and like stuff that doesn't really have like an end game.
It's like
So
half
I
as
kinda
long
need
as a
something to
Mario
finish.
game. It's a short game.
Mm.
It's called Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
You can
Yeah.
finally talk about MVCI. I'll let you go. For free.
It's good.
That's it.
Hmm.
Why is it good, Colton?
Oh my goodness!
Because it's Marvel. Even if it doesn't look great, it still plays great. So it's fine.
I guess Metro isn't underrated because it got a bunch of sequels, huh? Because I think Metro
No.
2033 kicks ass.
yeah, the
Yeah.
original Metro.
Yeah,
is
Metro had
fucking
good
great.
reception.
Yeah, it did. I'm trying to think of.
Ooh, Resonance of Fate. Resonance of Fate. That's mine. That game
That's a
kicks
good
major
pick.
ass. It was just really, really hard, and people didn't understand it. And the story, was kind of just like a slice of life anime. When the battles were fucking John Woo gun movies.
I really want to play that still.
It's a really good game. It's just that you really have to like accept that the story does not pick up for at least 30 hours.
You know, I've spent at least 40 in Final Fantasy 13. I think I can make it.
It's like, well, because with 13, the gameplay is like okay, and the story is whatever. With Resonance of Fate, the story is like funny, but there's no real overarching. It's almost like watching like Cowboy Bebop or something episodic. It's like, okay, this chapter we're doing something completely unrelated to the last chapter.
That sounds good.
There's barely any like overarching stuff until later on.
Hmm.
Until then, it's basically just like you play as a group of people that go out and do jobs for money because you're all poor, and also really good with guns.
Hmm.
And that's basically it. Like you just go out and do jobs. They had a really weird system where you make the overworld map yourself. So doing quests or like opening chests or whatever will give you like grid pieces. And then when you get out to the world map, it's all on like it's all on the big grid. I'm trying to think. It looks like a honeycomb. Like it has that kind of shape to it, right? And then you can place your grid pieces down like Tetris blocks. So let's say you could make your own path to the next objective, provided you had the right blocks. And then using those blocks would also like, if you put them in specific places, you get treasure chests, or you can use them to make paths to like optional missions and stuff like that. It was really interesting. There was a lot of weird shit that people weren't ready for, because then it came out and the opinion was like, yeah, it's good, but it kind of never goes anywhere, and the combat is hard and it's weird. But it's fucking sick. It's one of my favorite JRPGs like of all time. I think it's amazing.
I think I've got my choice, actually. I'm not sure what public reception, or like, actually, I know the people that have played Killer is Dead enjoy it usually, but I don't. I think it's like,
fine.
I think it's one of the least talked about
I got one.
games he's made. But I don't know. I love Killer is Dead, literally to death. It's one of my personal favorite picks on the 360.
It looked cool enough. I liked its like presentation, but I don't know about the gameplay because I didn't play it, right? So
the gameplay is, you know, I still need to play No More Heroes, so I can't compare it to that necessarily.
The moon made me kill Osama bin Laden.
yeah,
I hate you. The Killer's Dead's ending was weird.
Nibbler, he's going nuts again.
The thing about Killer is Dead is that like I kind of came to terms with how weird the ending was, just because like the entire game is bizarre. I mean,
isn't that the one where a luchador headbutts a bullet?
No, that's
no.
just Lucha Libre.
No,
Okay.
that's Hitman Absolution.
It's actually been a little while since I replayed Killer is Dead. The main thing I remember about Killer is Dead, especially the weird stuff, was that bit where, what's her name, that lady on the motorcycle, just out of nowhere, all of a sudden she grows like 6 extra arms and every single one is holding a gun.
That's sweet.
That sounds like Killer is Dead. That's a Suda 5-1 game, right?
Yeah.
I think that is the one I was thinking about.
What's her at?
What's her OnlyFans?
Oh,
Hey,
no.
Andy, you don't know? Oh, actually, let me see if this came out in that time, because I think it did. Oh shit! The store page doesn't exist
Oh my
anymore.
God.
Fuck.
Is it a
Gun
licensed
Monkeys. Remember Gun Monkeys?
Oh, Gun Monkeys. That's not underrated. That was just bad.
Leonardo says Life is Strange, the first one, had the worst endings to any game he ever played, honestly.
That doesn't shock me.
That seems pretty harsh. I didn't particularly care for Life is Strange, but I didn't think the endings... Okay, no, one of the endings was pretty bad.
It's pretty
One of
fucking...
them was fine.
I think they're both fucking terrible because it just...
would you say they're hella terrible?
Get out of here!
I say hella.
At the end of this, I was like, yeah, why did I play this fucking game?
My character's name in FF14 is literally hella. I don't care.
I'm gonna go for a smoke.
No, you're not. We've established that you don't
I got
smoke.
a game. I don't want to get too much into it because I think it's very cheap. But I probably should get into why you should. Let me go to the store page. Have you heard of a little game called Long Live the Queen?
No,
I
one
have.
cares.
Oh, I remember that.
I play.
Everyone react at the same time.
So
Isn't there Long Live the King as well?
With regards to Mirage and his saying he killed Chloe because she said hella every 5 seconds, I can't blame you.
I say hella every 5 seconds. I better watch my bag.
You better.
That's
Long
hella
Live the
fucked up.
Queen is this just anime fucking like game where you have to kind of you're just a little anime girl and all of a sudden your mom dies, so now you're the queen. Now you gotta like build up your stats by training
true.
or going to school every day
I
and
relate to that.
avoid constant assassination tips on your life.
Yeah, one of our friends bought that for me a while back, but I never played it.
It's honestly very good.
Okay.
It's not many people talk about it because I don't think it's really hit the radar.
I
Yeah,
think you're wrong, but go off. What do I give a shit?
do you have
This
anything to
is my
say?
fourth glass of juice
Gamer
and
fuel?
vodka. Yeah,
Oh,
gamer
Is it
fuel.
bad that
that's
I
what it's
can't
called.
tell I'm sober from drunk?
yes.
No,
Transformers
I'm not.
Devastation.
No,
Transformers Devastation is
I'm
very good. I played it on PC, and I think I own it on
that
Xbox
game.
as well.
That game, low key. No, high key. That is Platinum's best licensed game. Metal
Absolutely.
Gear Rising, eat a dick.
Okay,
Transformers Devastation
Hmm.
is by far their best licensed game.
I wish Optimus Prime was the president of the United States of America.
I agree with
Nice.
almost everything you just said there, though I do especially agree with that last point. I still consider Metal Gear Rising my favorite Platinum game, but there's a lot of reasons that go into that, other than just the raw gameplay and boss design, which I think are very good. I think it's a very, very, very good game, but everything in Metal Gear Rising just adds up enough for it to turn out to be my favorite Platinum game. Though
Mine's
Devastation,
Bayonetta.
Honestly,
good
I'm
choice.
toasted, so they all fall down to like the same tier. And when you're toasted, that vision gets a little wobbly, so it doesn't really matter.
But are you roasted?
oh
yeah,
no,
I'm
give
toasted and joasted.
Toasted. Roasty, toasted?
Oh boy. As for Long Live the Queen, though, Dean, I remember when this was back before you had money to buy your own games, because you bought it like back in 2014, 2013, something like that. I distinctly remember you saying to me that you had to explain to your mom why you needed money to buy an anime girl game where you became a pretty princess.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Like you word for word, you said to your mom, or so you told me. You were like, "Hey,
No,
mom, I'm gonna become a pretty princess."
Yeah, I think that was pretty accurate. This was back when allowance was a thing, and I think I asked for it early.
I
And
hope
the
you
game
feel
wasn't-
just as deep shame whenever you open your mouth.
Shut up. I don't feel shame for this because the game's actually pretty good.
That's
was.
how he,
I
that's
haven't
what he
been
says to get past the shame.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, we don't have a gay baby gel on this server because we're better than that.
Yeah.
Oh, little update on the Platinum Wonderful 101 Kickstarter. They now are up to having a physical copy on Switch. That's really good.
Cool.
Looking in, they're at 1.5 million right now, which is really good. I mean, we said it when we covered it last time. It's like, I'm just happy this game's out, or not out, but this game's just getting ported to everything under the sun.
Man,
It deserves.
actually, now that we're on Kickstarters, I don't think any of you played Pathfinder Kingmaker, but it's follow up. It's not like a direct sequel, but they're making Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, and they made holy fuck. Sorry, it was at 900,000, and then I guess I refreshed it, and now it's at 1. No, oh sorry, it was at 900,000 American, and then it went over to Canadian, which is like 1.3 million Canadian. But yeah. So the new Pathfinder game had a Kickstarter, and its goal was like 300K or whatever, and they've made way fucking more than that. So that's cool. I like those old fucking computer RPGs like Baldur's Gate and stuff like that. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had money to make it. I think they said they were making a Kickstarter because they like to interact with the fans that way, and also additional funding to help the game out. And they ended up making more money with the Kickstarter than they were given to make the game. So,
Damn.
oh fuck, Leonardo's. My mom walked in at me playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and there was a cutscene where it zoomed in on Mithra's cleavage, so every cutscene with Mithra. And my mom walks in the living room and said, "This must be one of those anime porn games I've heard about." That's
Okay.
fair. That's fair. Mithra and Pyra are ridiculous, and that's why Morag is the best character.
I want to
At least
know
you weren't
while we're
jacking off.
talking about stuff like that. I was looking into. I think I'm saying it right. Archanelico.
Artanelico, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking up stuff about those games earlier because I do want to play them. In fact, I'm
Yeah,
kind of
so
even
was
want
I.
to play through Archanelico 1 like on this stream sometime if I'm able. Like maybe set up
yeah.
a day to
Yeah.
just play through it and stuff. Maybe have one or two people in here just kind of talking about it. But
I'm down. I love Artanelico.
but
Yeah, I
apparently
was looking
those
up
games have a
information
panic button
also.
for when you're on little risky scenes.
Yeah.
They have a
Don't worry
panic
about it.
button?
Yeah,
Don't
it just
worry about
suddenly cuts to like I kind of want to find that picture again. Actually, it like cuts to like an old timey Western ad, but it's completely in Japanese and replaces the cutscene.
Oh.
Yeah.
It cuts to a picture of a chair.
Yeah.
Let's see, pressing select in Art. Okay, yeah. Someone says pressing select in Art and Eleco 2's dialogues. Hello, I've been playing through AT2 recently, and I tried pressing the select button during dialogues, and they would randomly show one of the pictures here. I'll just pull this up on display on stream, actually. Display capture. Just like show what this guy's talking about. It's like
Yeah,
it just goes to this.
That's so surreal.
Art and Eleco was always kind of like that. The first one's not so bad, but then Art and Eleco 2 and onward, especially our No Surge. Our No Surge is legitimately like you're sitting in a hot spring with a naked anime girl, air quotes, diving into her. It's a bit much.
Huh.
I heard
It's not sexual at all, but
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
no,
Just
okay,
dive
listen,
into some
listen,
lady who's
listen,
naked.
it's
Classmating is just holding hands.
Listen, it's called diving because you're going into worlds within them, okay?
Oh,
It's
okay.
completely different.
with every second, you're digging this hole.
Totally different.
It's called
Yeah.
soaking. It's not
It's called
having sex.
taking
You're just
a
kind
sip
of
of-
putting it in and letting it sit there.
But
Just
one
getting
of the
your little mushroom
characters,
soup in there, so you start seeing a journey as you dive deep.
but one of the characters you play as is a robot who doesn't even have those things. Okay, so
He has
A
pistons,
robot
don't he?
A robot can have a dick. I've seen the.
no, but he doesn't. He
Yeah,
doesn't.
that's
I
the.
I played the fucking.
that.
I played the fucking game.
I've seen people play Warforged in D&D. They can't feel, but they can still pump.
I see how it is. I'm legit the only person who's played a Warforged.
Yeah,
I'm
You
legit
can't
the only
feel.
person here who's played a porn game to completion. What's your point?
that's not true.
Wait, what?
That's
In
not true at all.
both forms.
Okay, I want to give a shout out to Mirage for talking about Dot Hack. Thank
Dot hack,
you.
hell yeah. Dot hack is sick.
Yeah, I want them to remaster the originals because I can only play the GU games right now.
I saw that and I thought it was Dot Flow and I got really sad.
Colton,
Xenosaga, yes please.
I'll have you know I have a whole folder on my fucking desktop called socially acceptable games that are games I finished to completion. Okay.
But which completion?
Both.
Okay. All right,
That's why they're socially acceptable, air quotes.
Is
Okay.
one of them Corruption of Champions?
And then
Corruption of Champions.
I definitely don't back the second game on Patreon.
Okay. All right, cool. Just so we're clear.
Yeah.
So while we're
You should
talking
go-
about this, Scott, what are your thoughts on Xenosaga?
I love Xenosaga. I love Xenosaga so much. Thank you for saying it. My background is actually Cosmos. Best
love-
robot,
I
best
love
character.
Cosmos.
I feel
Cosmos.
like one of the best
Cock my
things
dick,
we've
Moss.
what?
What? Go on. You had a thing going.
Slap my dick up.
No. No. Oh no.
Going off the rails, boyos.
What I was gonna say though is this is something we've discussed in the Discord, which by the way, there's a link in the Twitch stream just in the
That cat's
description.
going
to
nuts.
just
Yeah,
can
that
hear
cat's
him.
getting excited to join our Discord.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah.
down in the down there. Scroll
Just-
down. There it is,
just
dickhead.
scroll down, please. Join our Discord. We're begging you.
He's fighting the blinds, and he gave up.
Oh.
If you join, they give me food for once. That's not true. It's every 2 people.
But the fact that Scott, if I can ask Scott about any JRPG and there's like a 80% chance he's played it or at least knows about it,
Yeah, that's kind of all I did for like 4 years.
I can no
Was
lo-
was exclusively play like 6 out of 10 JRPGs.
I gotta be like very careful, you know, like whenever I ask Scott a question, like if I say, "Have you played?" the answer is yes, Andy. Who do you think I am?
Yeah, you think I'm some sort of casual? Of course, I played our No Surge.
Let's see, what announcements would do it? I want to see from Nintendo this E3. That's a good question. Metroid Prime 4 information. I'm not expecting much yet since they restarted development, but I would like, and I know this is like a non-Nintendo thing to do, but I would be completely down to have like a transparent thing, like a dev report, where they're like, "This is what we got so far." I would also
Yeah,
very
give
much
me-
appreciate
give
that
me-
for Bayonetta 3.
Give me Bayonetta 3. That's all I want.
Damn.
What? Bayonetta's a good game.
But on top of that, while we're talking about cool character action games, No More Heroes 3. Honestly, I really do need to pick up a Switch. Nintendo's kind of got the market cornered on games specifically
I have-
designed for me.
I've got a Switch and I use it to play Xenoblade 2. Fuck. Thank you for saying Xenosaga, because now that's all I'm gonna be thinking about.
God damn it! Now I
Um,
want to listen to No More Heroes 2 Philistine.
I listened to that last night.
It's such a good song. I also listened to that last night.
That's
What the
fucked up.
fuck were you
That's
guys
fucked
doing
up.
last night?
We were being Philistines, obviously.
Reaper, Reaper.
No
But yeah, I
worries.
use my Switch exclusively to play Xenoblade 2 and Octopath Traveler.
I'd love a new Beautiful Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I would love one more.
Holy
I bet he
shit.
would.
Can we get that? Can we get the Colton filter up?
The Colton
No.
filter? Oh, the one oh yeah. Gotta get the little lizard doing acid again.
Yeah,
There
'cause
we
this
go.
really sounds like he is.
There we go.
You
No.
Stranger's
You don't-
Wrath is cool.
I don't think you've heard somebody on acid. They don't sound at all like Colton. trust me.
No.
No. Colton, listen, I'm not saying Colton's on acid. I'm saying if you look at that little lizard on the stream now, the little Dorito Mountain Dew lizard, that lizard's been
That's
through
the
something.
lizard on horse tranquilizer.
That's that good shit.
Oh, jeez.
What was that called? Angel dust?
No, they're just called horse tranquilizers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fucking, he's clean. I don't really like. He doesn't do any bad stuff.
Feeling a bit itchy.
Just a little bit.
Oh no.
Dude, the corruption's already spread.
Our champion has been corrupted.
Ever since we hit 100 viewers, like
How many
views-
wolf dicks
views.
do I have right now?
What the? fuck?
100.
Hondo.
That's pretty normal.
Okay. Now we're talking about stuff I'm really interested in here. Tales of
Alright.
Arise.
Now
Yeah,
we're talking
damn.
about stuff I'm really interested here. Did you guys know that there's new information on Gundam Extreme versus Maxi Boost on?
Did you know
No,
that we have like
I
a
did
little
not.
detox chamber?
No, he's fine. He doesn't need any detox.
But I do want to say about Tales of Arise real quick. It's the most interested I've ever been in a Tales game. I was pretty
Yeah,
interested in
same.
Berseria. I
I don't
need
like
to
any
finish
Tales game except Berseria.
I still need to finish Berseria, actually. I like before it was like one of those cases where I was like, I can run this, but maybe I should just like upgrade my graphics card to run it better. And I did that, and I haven't gotten back to it since. But I don't know. Arise is just like, it's such a generational leap for those games. It looks beautiful. I can't wait to play it.
You know what? I can't wait to play PSO2 in English.
Oh yes. So while we're talking about like drugs and alcohol and all these other vices that people have, it's a very good time to talk about Phantasy Star Online too.
I don't have a problem.
He has a
Oh
problem.
yeah, I played that
I-
game.
I don't have a problem.
He has a problem.
No, it's just a fun game that
Thanks, Colton.
makes me feel good when I play it, so I want to keep playing it. I don't have a problem.
Video game addiction isn't real.
Yeah.
My 900 hours in Final Fantasy XIV tell me that I'm not addicted to it.
Same though.
When we start talking about Phantasy Star Online 2,
Let's talk about Phantasy Star Online 2 right now. We
3
were-
of the
okay.
5 of us were in the beta.
Yeah.
Love it when my
Yeah.
robot wife says hi to me.
I am a robot.
Stop threatening the chat about detoxing their buttholes.
I said Dedix, you bitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say he said Dedix. Come on.
Oh, never mind. You're clear.
But Phantasy Star Online 2. It's just I've loved Phantasy Star for years. Phantasy Star Online 1 is a game I've played on and off throughout the years on private servers, and it's just
Yeah, he'd
there's-
play on and off like 15 minutes and then wait a couple of years till bring it back up again.
Fucking Addy's getting exposed on stream. Holy
No,
shit!
listen, I
Fake
play
Fantasy Star fan.
listen, I play video games without you.
That's
Every
fucked up.
time you play with me, I'm like, okay, shit, what do we do now? Where do we go? I'm like, wow, you really sound like someone who's played this without me.
Okay, listen. I played it without you. I just didn't play it very far without you.
It's fine. You don't actually have to consider Dean.
Good.
But yeah, PSO2 is really fun. It's really simple. The gameplay loop is like incredibly simple.
It's a lot faster paced than the
Yeah,
first
the
game.
combat is so satisfying, and I enjoyed the rhythm-based rhythm-based combat in Fantasy Star Online 1, and they have some remnants of that in 2, but it's not, instead of just being all your attacks have to be tied to this, it's your perfect critical hits are tied to this, and it's satisfying to get down right.
They have fucking concerts that give you buffs. It is so fun. And Andy and Dean both missed the one concert in the beta because they were being old men and sleeping. And it was fun. They got to miss out on the player known as Optimus Prime saying, "I better see some toes after this."
Yeah,
Maybe
it was
Optimus
pretty
Prime
great.
should be president, actually.
That was so funny. I like pissed myself laughing.
I think if Optimus Prime was president, he would be owed a couple pictures of toes.
I agree.
But yeah.
I also agree.
So in PSO2, yeah, they have like full-on concerts with like, usually Vocaloids or stuff like that. I know when I played the Japanese version, I definitely went to at least a couple Hatsune Miku concerts. The one they had in the beta was Kyuna, who I think is like one they made for the game, and she's actually voiced by I forget her name. She's actually like someone I know. I forget her name at the moment. I think it's like Eri. Oh, I think she was in Supercell. I don't remember. Anyway, but yeah, the concerts give you like a 2-hour buff that like increases your item drop rate, your money drop rate, and I think like your attack for 2 hours. It's fun. You get to watch a full on concert, and if you type encore enough times, they play an encore performance, and your buff lasts even longer.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah, because everyone in the crowd starts going like encore, encore, and then it goes black, and then like she comes back out, and she's like, "Oh my god, thank you so much," and then they keep doing it. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean,
It's all fun and games till Optimus Prime is like, "Show me those toes."
That's threatening.
People of Earth. Let me see them toe beans.
Oh no!
We have
They suck
assumed the
upon them.
toes.
Let me suck upon them little toes.
Oh no!
Canceled.
Well, also on the subject of Power Rangers games, also I just want to say a huge thank you to Mirage again. I don't know if you're gonna go by Mirage or Leonardo or Mirage Leonardo, but we kind of ran into this little problem with our setup and our scheduling for the podcast this week as we were transitioning to a new system, and then that system didn't work out, so we were transitioning to another system about 10 minutes before the show went live. So our
we're basically just like completely
our show notes got burned.
quarter-assing it.
But on average, we were more prepared than we are every other week.
Yeah, so like actually having these things in here, this is actually really fantastic. So
Did
thank
you
you.
even like post shit into?
Colton posted stuff to like talk about.
Yeah,
or
but
maybe
he didn't put it in the bullet point section.
He put it in the episode fucking planning section. Same thing.
Oh yeah.
But as for Power Rangers games, Battle for the Grid is fantastic. I don't know your stance on fighting games, but if you enjoy a good Marvel versus Capcom style fighter with some good fan favorite characters, a great community and some great support, it's like even being mainly designed by some big Marvel versus veterans. It's a fantastic game. I definitely recommend looking into Maximilian Dude's gameplay footage of it. I think he's got a lot. That dude has a lot of fun with that game, and he cares nothing about the Power Rangers franchise at all. It's great. I think it's one of my favorite fighting games to come out last year. Though I definitely do think my favorite fighting game of BB Tag Season 2 was last year, but the original BB Tag was 2018, right?
I don't know. I don't play baby tag.
Colton.
He passed out. Oh, never mind.
I'm eating Praxki.
Oh.
Plays The Witcher once and starts buying Polish food.
In Germany, it's a Berliner.
A Berliner?
In Austria, it's a Krapfen.
Okay, that sounds
In
cool.
Romania, it's called Gogosi.
But it's one of those
Okay.
things, the release
In
date for.
Ukraine, they call it a Pampushki. In
Interesting.
Pennsylvania, Dutch country, it's called a Fastnacht. And in Hawaii, Portuguese immigrants call it a malasada. What does your family call it?
What the fuck? Are you reading something?
I don't know how to read.
Well, obviously not then. What the fuck?
I'll be honest, I don't play Injustice, so I don't even know who I'd want in Injustice 3. I played the first one, and I just played Solomon Grundy, and then that's it.
Bring the cold back.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Freeze in any of the Injustice games?
No one cares. Bring Captain Cold back.
Captain Cold!
He's like Mr. Freeze, but
Lame.
funnier.
It's like
I thought
Mr. Freeze, but in a midlife crisis.
I thought you were
He's
about
like
to say
Mr.
he's like
Freeze, but
Mr.
he's
Freeze
never
but cooler, and I was gonna punch you through my microphone.
He's like Mr.
He's
Freeze, but he's never fucked.
He's like Mr. Freeze, but in a parka and has no like problems, health wise, and he's really just going through a midlife crisis.
He's like Mr. Freeze, but he never learned that shutter shades went out of style.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, they didn't.
His name's Captain Cold.
Well, I'm thinking of Mr. Freeze here. I don't know if any of you guys saw the Batman. Like, that was the name of it. It's the CW cartoon that aired mid-2000s. But it has, like, it's just called The Batman. That's its name.
The Batman.
And it's got my favorite Mr. Freeze design, I think. I'm going to bring that one up on the stream, actually, just because, like...
The Batman.
I don't know. This is... There we go. That should
Leonardo says there's
wait,
fucking
the
Masters
Batman.
of the Universe.
Is that the one where Joker looks like an actual jester?
that's the one where he looks like a juggalo, yeah.
A juggalo.
Oh, you don't know about the... Oh. Okay, I've got Mr. Freeze up on screen here,
The
but...
Batman. Yeah, it's a very different
Yeah.
style.
Yeah, I remember really enjoying that
CW, the
Like that
Joker.
show.
Oh, come on. This is not what I want. This is not what I want. The Batman, what was it, 2005? There we go, there we
I don't
go.
fucking know.
502.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, that's I remember that.
Yeah, I've seen that. Okay.
Yeah, he's just a juggalo.
Yeah, they also had
How the fuck Magnus
a,
work?
didn't they also have a movie that had actual Dracula?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it was like literally the Batman versus Dracula.
I remember that too. That was fucking weird.
I remember it being really funny because like Dracula would go out and do stuff, but because he would turn to a bat, they just assumed it was Batman.
The Batman versus Dracula.
Yeah, no.
Has
just
anyone
like,
ever read the original Dracula?
Yeah, I love it.
It's such a slow burn, and for everything you know about already.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I love how it's presented, and you can't do it justice ever.
That's the thing. The original Dracula story, vampirism was treated as purely as a medical thing.
Yeah, and like Helsing was a big fucking nerd. Too.
Like, it's just like Helsing is a doctor trying to find out how to treat it as a disease with all the ways that he knows things.
And then, if you meet him normally, he's a big quirky dork. But as soon as vampires get talked about, he puts on his serious face. He's kind of like an anime trope.
Nice.
You should read the original Dracula though.
I should, but I'm reading all the Witcher books, so it's on the back burner.
Okay, yeah, it's going to be on a very far back of the burner. It's going to be a long burn because it's portrayed in like journal notes and newspaper clippings of what happened, of like letters sent to family members. That's kind of like how it's being like shown. It's great. We're talking about books now in the GamerZone. What the fuck is wrong with us?
What's wrong with you?
I don't play video games. I just listen to music.
Okay,
that's my thing.
Okay, I want to say though about War for Cybertron. Uh, yeah, Mirage says, I beat War for Cybertron tonight on PS3. The most annoying mission was protecting Ratchet from 5 waves of Decepticons. Yep. War for Cybertron I have not played in years. I actually do need to rebuy that game because I got a physical PC copy of it that no longer works due to changes in how certain older forms of DRM no longer work in Windows 10. And I think it's been delisted now, so I'm kind of SOL, but I might need to just buy it on console again. But it's a very good game with some occasional very stupid missions. After War for Cybertron, it was what? Fall of Cybertron. Yeah, Fall of Cybertron is like, I think, probably the best Transformers game ever made. Second best being Devastation. I'm very sad that the multiplayer servers are shut down due to licensing stuff, because Colton and I years ago actually did play a bit of Fall of Cybertron multiplayer, and it was incredible. Think Xbox 360 era like Gears of War multiplayer, except you can transform into a plane and carpet bomb somebody. And it's like that was just phenomenal. But the campaign is still fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I won't just so you can go into that as blind as you can. I'm not going to say too much about certain missions later on in the game, but that game does. It's like an hour or two that completely changes everything about the game, and it's great. It's a well-designed game. It's a lot
Andy,
of.
we got like 5 minutes left, by the way.
It's okay. I can talk about Fall of Cybertron for at least 7 hours.
Oh my god, dude.
It's cool, dog. I'm just
I
chilling.
guess it is cool. I mean,
When we're done, I'm just gonna go play Grand Blue. To be honest with
we
you,
probably can have one more topic or something before we
But I
end
don't
it.
know. It's just like Fall of Cybertron, though. It's just I love video games that are good.
dude, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Can't have that here.
Fall of Cybertron was pretty high up on Teenage Andy's power list when it came to games. There were a lot of obscure titles that I was really heavily into, though, that I would have considered for that list earlier that Mirage brought up of, your favorite underrated game from like 2010 to 2019, but a lot of them were like
Lost
09
Planet
and stuff.
3.
Ugh, I hate that game. I will give Lost Planet 3 this, though. The mech segments in Lost Planet 3 are amazingly immersive.
Once you get to them.
Actually, combat in those is horrendous, but like when you're just like walking through this like frozen wasteland, and it's just I don't know, man, it just felt so both comfy and hostile at the same time, because you've got the comfort of being in that machine and you just see the frost growing on the windows and the snowstorms. And I'm the type of guy that enjoys a good snowstorm so long as I can see it through a window and not worry about transport in it. So seeing that in the video game done very realistically and very well was nice.
Okay, so we got to ask what games we're currently playing. We did kind of say that earlier in the show during the roundtable.
Yeah, but I'll take it.
It's cool. It probably came in later. It's fine.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine. Yeah.
Okay,
but the
don't
games
talk about Artificial Academy.
But the game that we're currently playing and the next game we plan on buying, for me, I'll just say Final Fantasy X for currently playing. Next game I plan on buying, though, that probably Final Fantasy VII Remake. But it's like I'm subscribed to Xbox Game Pass, so I get a lot of stuff on console that I don't have to worry about buying.
I
But
guess I'll go next.
yeah.
I'm playing Final Fantasy 15. Wow, a lot of Final Fantasies. First time playing through it. It's fine. I plan on getting if I ever had like the loose change, I'd plan on getting something small like Paratopic or Machinarium.
Both good options.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
machinery. Yeah.
Get one of those. Some cheap and fun, hopefully. Or Dusk. Actually, Dusk is probably
Get
good.
Dusk.
Yeah, the 7 remake is still going to be episodic, unfortunately.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not episodic in a Life is Strange sense, which, like, when they announced 7 Remake, it was like Life is Strange was coming out and stuff like that. this seems much less like it's episodic in that sense, where it's shorter games. They said this has the same amount of content as a standard mainline FF game,
Yeah, but also Midgar in the original 7 took like 4 hours tops.
and they're still expanding it for this. I mean, one of the things that got data mined with the demo that leaked was content that was completely original.
Yeah,
I mean, I figure half of that game's got to be completely original because, like Scott said, Midgar was really not a huge portion of that game. Not like that game was like exceedingly long or anything.
nah.
Um, Midgar really is like maybe a fifth of that game.
Yeah, if that. I'm glad they are expanding it, of course, because Midgar I think is a really cool setting. I just I don't know. I don't know how they can extend it without like making it just feel like padding. But I guess that's why I don't make video games, right? So
I mean, they're also going to be changing enough that they are considering remaking Final Fantasy VII Advent Children so that it matches up with the new canon because they're
that's
changing
pretty
things.
funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Yeah, it's going to be definitely more of a
Yeah, that would make
13,
sense.
13-2 Lightning Returns thing. Yeah.
Except this time, all 3 of those games will be good.
Though you know what's going to be really funny? If part of the
Ah.
episodic Final Fantasy VII trilogy or whatever is that the last one is at Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, and you can
That'd
just
be funny.
yeah, that would I would enjoy that a lot.
It's gonna be Crisis Core.
Honest,
Right as he says, he wished they would have ported Crisis Core to Switch or PS4.
which I agree with.
I'm split because I like Crisis Core. I don't like parts of it, like when it comes to the story.
I personally think absolutely. I think Zach should not show up any more than he does in FF7. I know a lot of people want to see like, oh, they should put more Zach flashbacks in, but you're going to ruin the only reveal that matters in FF7.
Yeah.
So no,
Which,
Zach,
for the record, Andy and Dean have not played, so be careful.
that's all I was going to say.
Okay, good.
But yeah, no, they're wrong, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean they're getting the trademarks renewed for like every single part of the 7 canon, and I'm really curious like how much of it is going to be rolled into these other games. Like, but I could kind of see, this is directed by Nomura. I could see them doing something like you know how like some of the Kingdom Hearts games or the remasters of Kingdom Hearts games come with a bonus thing like it's 2.8 back prologue super cover, I don't know, double X supercross motocross Xehanort on a ATV
BMX Triple X.
But
You and Ollie.
I could see them releasing like I don't know like Fantasy 7 Remake 2. Maybe it's an expansion, a DLC thing to it that covers Dirge of Cerberus, I don't know, Crisis Core.
That's cool.
I could see them doing like mini expansions for stuff like that.
Honestly,
Okay, well, in the data mine stuff, I won't go into detail, but there are things named in the data mined files that are from Dirge of Cerberus. So that might already just be in the remake.
Vincent's cool.
I do think Vincent is okay.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
The best character is Red 13, to be honest.
Vincent is about as cool as Cat Sith, but you know, you can.
It's Kite Shi. Thank you very much. That's how it's pronounced.
He can kite she my fucking asshole. I don't give a shit.
But so now I also have to ask again. The question asked for everybody here was game you're currently playing and next game you plan on buying. Jordan.
Okay, game I'm currently playing is I've been like I was saying earlier, I was playing Frostpunk. I've been playing some Far Cry 5. And let's see, been playing a little bit of a game called Lobotomy Corporation as well. I didn't mention that earlier, but I mentioned it last week. See, Frostpunk is kind of like a it's you basically control like a colony, and you're trying to basically just survive the harsh winter, basically.
It's Winnipeg Simulator.
But basically, it's like an apocalypse of just pure cold happened. Like basically, the Earth froze over, and you're just trying to survive. You're playing as one of the last colonies.
I would go
And
ahead and let myself die in that scenario.
But so, what game do you plan on buying next, Jordan?
well, does it count if I pre-ordered it?
You know what? We'll count it because I know what you're
Okay.
talking about.
There's a game coming out this Thursday called Damon X Machina. It came out originally on the Switch, but they're having a Steam release, and it looks like a graphical upgrade as well, and it's looking pretty nice. I'm pretty excited to play it. Andy has it as well.
Yeah, especially since, what was it, last week on stream, this absolute man just buys 2 copies.
Dude, it's on sale, bro. So, but yeah, I'm pretty excited to play that. Another game that I'm waiting on. I obviously there's like the games that come out like next month, like in March. Like Doom Eternal is definitely one I'm going for, but closer at the moment, I think the only game I was wanting to play this month was Damon X Machina, but another game I've been looking at is a game called GTFO, and that game it's in early access
That
right
title
now,
opens up a lot of jokes.
yeah.
In case you didn't know, it stands for "Get the fuck out."
Oh,
But yeah, it's
Colton,
it's something that's
ever since
interesting.
Colton just killed Trey and absorbed his power and got that deep fried microphone.
Wait, what?
You don't remember? It's hard for me to forget all that blood.
I'm chilling.
I'm just chilling, dog.
Uh,
All right. Yeah, I am currently playing Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, the Japanese release. And the next game I'm buying is probably Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, but in
Oh, what
English.
the fuck? You stole my bit.
Yeah, sorry, dog. We're the same person.
Damn.
But yeah, I don't know. There's not much coming out that I'm either aware of or care about. I don't know. I am playing The Witcher. I'm playing The Witcher 1. I need to go through that because I kind of want to go through the whole series. But when I'm not playing Witcher 1, I'm practicing Grand Blue Fantasy Versus because it's a fighting game, and if I don't practice 7 hours a day, I won't remember a simple 3-hit combo. So that's what I've been working on. I've also been really busy in general. So
right.
I've been playing. I was playing The Witcher. It's over now, so now I've been playing Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. When I'm not playing Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, I'm taking long walks on the beach, sipping pina coladas.
I could go for a pina colada.
Reading books, that kind of thing. The next game I'm going to buy is probably Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. I know. I've already bought 2 copies, but what could a third hurt, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're counting pre-orders, I guess I did just a couple hours ago. And by a couple hours ago, I mean exactly 1 hour ago. Pre-order Under Night and Birth EXE Late Claire. So
What a fucking title.
I guess that's happening. But I also might buy another Gwent deck. Peace out. I have a problem.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, I should play more Gwent. I haven't looked at the Scoia'tael changes. The only one I know is they've made my boar better, and that's it.
Made your what better?
My
You're
boar.
a bore.
So the Scoia'tael are elves, dwarves, that kind of shit, and dryads. And one of the units you get in the Gwent game is a boar, and he's really simple in that if you put him in the back row, on the next turn he can move into the front row and damage an enemy. And if he's in the front row, the next turn he can move to the back row and heal himself back to full health. And that's a really good card. And they made it so that instead of having to wait a turn, now when I play him, I can just use that ability. I can just put him in the back row and immediately move him to the front row and hurt somebody. It's nice. Leonardo says, the creator of The Witcher actually said The Witcher games don't tie into the Netflix show. Supposedly the games aren't canon to the books. well, I'm gonna read the books and play the games and watch the show. So
Well, the thing is that the games consider the books canon, and they build off of the books as if they were a sequel. The Netflix show is a reimagining of the books. It's like the books, but it's completely in the wrong order, and it changes certain character motivations entirely, and the timelines are incomprehensible. So the show is okay, but it also kind of sucks ass at the same time. But yeah, no, it's I and Andrei Sapkowski talking about the games doesn't really matter because the games kind of assume that the books are the prequels and they build a narrative off of those, whereas Andrei Sapkowski has not put out another book that disputes that claim. So if you want to think about the games as canon, that's totally fine because there's nothing to dispute that claim. The show is very clearly not.
mhm. It's a cool universe. That's like I've always wanted to play them, and then Colton going through all of them kind of made me want to also do that. So that's what I'm working on.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to end it tonight. A serious shout out to Mirage. Once again, you are the MVP of this episode.
Thanks for giving us stuff to talk about.
Very much love to have you here in the chat. Anytime that you feel like hopping in the Discord, if you ever want to hop on the show, you're allowed.
If we give you permission.
Yeah, if we give you permission. But yeah, I hope everyone has a good week. I may or may not do another stream sometime this week. I mean, we'll announce it on the Twitter account beforehand if we do. At least
If you
at
do,
least an hour
I'm
of
off
leeway.
all week.
Hey, that ups the odds quite a bit. Just gotta find a good time to do it.
Well, tomorrow I'm actually going to get drunk, but
Okay,
any other
maybe not
day of the
tomorrow.
week.
Yeah, gonna work that out. But yeah, hope everybody has a good week, enjoys whatever it is that they're doing. Be it drinking, be it going to
I don't
Comic
know.
Con.
I don't think I'll get wasted. But me and my buddy are going back to that Japanese joint, and last time I was there, I had a good time. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
All right. Well, I'm not that great at outros yet. I'll think of a way to do these eventually, because usually it's more of a.
Lisa hated here.
Yeah, that's a good place to call it. 3,
Nailed it.
2, 1.